the type of players they have, but ultimately it comes down. Probably wasn't going to give that assurance. I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have been given that assurance at City, and he backs himself. Manchester City are not afraid to let these talents go, even though they're going to get a good hefty fee for them. But even if they do go and do really well elsewhere, they're not afraid to do it, and I like that.
One of Pep Guardiola's big messages, Liam, is always this idea of you have permission to make a mistake. What he doesn't like is when players don't want the ball. But even when Chelsea were 2-0 down at Tottenham, you could see Cole Palmer was the one, probably, who still wanted it all the time.
Yeah, he's a very confident guy. We've heard about that on and off the pitch so far at Chelsea. And Pochettino has, like Guardiola, really empowered him to play through mistakes, to take responsibility in every situation, and just to take risks to try to make things happen. He's creating a lot of chances in this team. I think he's playing more passes into the penalty area than anyone else in the league per 90 minutes. So he's really become a creative hub in a very short space of time. And from what I hear, his relationship with Pochettino has been a real positive and a real key factor in that.
You mentioned the midfield, Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. This is a huge challenge for them today, coming up against Rodri and, I'm going to say, Bernardo Silva, but that is subject to change.
Yeah, I think the midfield has probably been the best part of Chelsea's team this season, actually. Certainly since Moises Caicedo really started playing in this team week after week. The understanding that he has with Enzo Fernandez is really good. I think he's shifted Enzo into a more suitable role. He's not trying to be the deepest midfielder anymore. He's pulling the strings between the lines. And Conor Gallagher, I think, is slightly underrated in all of this. He complements those two really well. He's technically massively improved this season, but his boundless energy, his ability to create turnovers from the opposition almost anywhere is uncanny. And I think as a unit, they've become really formidable in a short space of time. They gave Arsenal a really difficult time here. Martin Odegaard, I think, did very little in the game. And clearly City have a lot more threats in that area of the pitch, a lot more people to worry about. But I think that's probably the part of the pitch Chelsea will be most confident of competing in, actually.
Great stuff, Liam. Thank you very much indeed. Liam Toomey there, Chelsea writer for The Athletic. Give me the clash over Neil Diamond any day of the week. There's been another goal in that game between Celtic and Aberdeen. Gavin Wallace.
Should we stay or should we go? Well, if you'd left, you would have missed the goal from David Turnbull then. Just on the 90+1 there, he took the ball out from the left-hand side and got himself about 20 yards of space and just drilled it nicely, wrapped his right foot round it and into the bottom left-hand corner, all over bar the shouting. Celtic 4, Aberdeen 0.
That was very good, Gavin. Can I just say, I hope you do stay until full time at least. Thank you.
I'll try my best.
Let's go back to Franklin's Gardens. Northampton Saints, Exeter Chiefs. Adam Whitty.
Yeah, Northampton might have sewn this up. Alex Mitchell back from France with a World Cup bronze medal has scored their third try to give them a 27-5 lead over Exeter. Lovely move on the right from Saints. The England scrum half there to dive over. Saints lead Exeter 27-5, 58 minutes gone.
Thank you very much. Let's hear from the Manchester City manager, Pep Guardiola, then. They've only dropped points at Arsenal and Wolves in the league this season. Why should today be any different? Here he is.
Chelsea remains one of the more important teams in England, no problem. In that period, won the Champions League with Thomas Tuchel, so against that. So it's true that in the Premier League, we're not close to win the Premier League in these seasons, but he's one of the strongest team. There's no doubts about that. So I see that in last games, they are alive, they have good spirit, they are aggressive, they have a good pattern, so the quality is there. But in the same time, we go there with optimistic for what we have seen and the way they're training, the mood of the team. We are right now unexpected for 2-3 weeks ago, top of the league right now, and this is what we have to try to maintain, the level, the quality of the game. But sooner or later, Chelsea will be there fighting for the titles, no doubt about that.
That's Pep Guardiola. John, so it looks like Bernardo Silva alongside Rodri in central midfield, which is the same central midfield they played in the derby against Manchester United. Is that effectively the level that Chelsea are on for now?
Well, I would imagine that Akanji will step in there as well. So I'm kind of thinking of it being more that line of four that we see from them with Foden.
Yeah, I'll call you later. They do streaming.
Bernardo Silva and the very much informed Jeremy Doku behind Haaland. So, we know with Bernardo Silva, he's so adaptable, isn't he? I mean, it doesn't seem he can play virtually everywhere apart from central defence. And, so it's such an important part of this Manchester City team. It's almost inconceivable to think that they might not have been with him this season when obviously Mahrez left and Gundogan left. I think to have lost Bernardo Silva as well would have, even for Manchester City, might have been one too many. But he's here and he's very important. And of course, he's signed another contract, this season to stay a little longer.
I feel that's happened for the last 2 or 3 seasons now, Mark. It always seems that Bernardo Silva might go. He always stays. He always shows his importance. I mean, he's probably almost getting to the David Silva level of significance from his time at City.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think over the years he's definitely become more of a valuable team member of this side. Even more so now that I think that Kevin De Bruyne has been out for such a long period of time of injury. They've needed other experienced players to step up. And Bernardo Silva, I've been a big fan of his from the day he arrived at the club. I thought he's been excellent. And the frustration, I think, from his side is that not always getting the opportunities like he probably had hoped he would earlier on. And I think over time now he has certainly worked his way into this side as being one of the really valuable, important players.
And regardless of who starts next to Rodri and how it changes, you've got Nunez, Phillips, Kovacic, Lewis all on the bench, but Bernardo starting. So this is very, very attacking from Manchester City.
Yes, very much so. I mean, they always are, aren't they? I mean, there's never a point when you look at Manchester City and go, oh, geez, they've got
But would they be this attacking at Arsenal or at Anfield, or does it say something about Chelsea?
I think it's just how they set up. I think they are. I think they're always pretty attacking. Yeah, okay, you might say that maybe they might put a Kovacic in there as well, and it's slightly a little bit more defensive oriented. Yeah, I mean, there's probably a little bit of a difference, but I don't think Pep Guardiola looks at it necessarily in that way. I think he just picks a side that he believes will go out there and beat Chelsea and any team that they're playing each week. And that's the luxury he has. He has a formidable squad of players, of top class, world-class players.
Another goal at Celtic, Gavin.
Indeed, it was this time for really easy ball, cross in from the left-hand side, and he was there ahead of all the Aberdeen defence. Oh my, it's 5-0 Celtic.
And the one other player I wanted to mention, Mark, Jeremy Doku, an out-and-out old-school winger, just another way of attacking for this Manchester City team.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? We talk about an old-school winger that everyone's so surprised about seeing and doing really well in this Manchester City side. It's amazing to see, and he's a huge talent, of course, and has hit the ground running since he's arrived here in England, and it's no surprise, is it, really? I mean, working with Pep Guardiola, working with the players he's got around him, he has just slotted in and looks a real handful.
All yours then, John.
Thank you very much, Steve. And welcome everyone to Stamford Bridge. And of course it is Remembrance Sunday, and there is quite a ceremony going to take place here before the start of the match. As the two teams come out, they've actually walked through an avenue of Chelsea pensioners from the Royal Hospital, which is very close to Stamford Bridge next to the Thames, and they are carrying wreaths of poppies, and they're standing by the side of the pitch as we look down on them, those bright red tunics that stand out like beacons against the green pitch of Stamford Bridge. And of course there's been such a long association between Chelsea Football Club and the Royal Hospital that it always feels, when you come to Stamford Bridge on Remembrance Sunday, that it has an extra poignance. And what's happening out there now as the players go through their Premier League handshakes, in the centre circle there is a big blue canvas in Chelsea blue with a red poppy on it and the golden crest of Chelsea, and that is being held up by various members of the UK Armed Forces Chelsea Official Supporters Club. So they are in their military uniforms, but they are genuine Chelsea fans. And similarly, individual white letters that must be about 8 feet tall have been carried onto the pitch by more of those members of the armed forces, and they're in the far corner of the ground, and they are spelling out the words Chelsea remembers. So we will honour those who've lost their lives in conflict before the start of the match. There will be a bugler, of course, playing the last post. He will be Corporal Ben Murray, who is from the central band of the RAF. And all of that will take place with the players gathered around the centre circle. So that is to come very shortly, but I believe there's been another goal in the Celtic-Aberdeen match. Gavin Wallace.
Yeah, John, deep into stoppage time. It's just went full time as you come to us now. It was with the 6 for Celtic. It's been an absolute rout. Yang Furuhashi, Palma Tumbo, and 2 from restore the 8-point gap at the top of the Scottish Premiership. Celtic 6, Aberdeen 0.
So here at Stamford Bridge, those Chelsea pensioners are still standing by the side of the pitch. The mascots are down there as well, the Chelsea mascots standing to their right. And the 2 captains, Reece James and Kyle Walker, England teammates, of course, have just shaken hands in the centre circle. So referee Anthony Taylor is just moving away. And now here's the applause, warm applause for those 5 Chelsea pensioners who are walking and stamping down their shiny black boots as they stand next to the centre circle. And with them, as I say, is Corporal Ben Murray, the bugler who will play the last post.
Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them, lest we forget. The last post will now be performed by Ben Murray, trumpeter from the Central Band of the Royal Air Force, which will follow a moment's silence.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, we're not able to bring you the current sports commentary on this platform. You may be able to listen on an alternative platform. For further information and terms of use, go to bbc.co.uk/5live.
BBC Radio 5 Live.
Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, we're not able to bring you the current sports commentary on this platform. You may be
post, and you have to have a hard heart not to really be moved by that. So have a look at Nottingham Forest's social media for that. So we're ready for the start of this latest meeting of the Premier League's 2 most successful clubs over the last 20 years. Their first meeting of this season. It is Chelsea, blue shirts, blue shorts and white socks, who get the match underway. Manchester City also playing in their first choice colours, the sky blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks. As listeners to the BBC World Service as well join us here at Stamford Bridge, you're very welcome.
And it is Chelsea with Fernandes coming forward. Through the middle, the hat-trick man Jackson. Now out to Reece James on the right, whose shot is blocked by a falling Guardiola. And the ball is deflected out of play for a throw into Chelsea near the halfway line. And with us for the commentary on 5 Live and the World Service this afternoon is Mark Schwarzer, Premier League goalkeeper. Briefly here at Chelsea at the end of his career, Australia's most capped footballer. First time you and I have been together, working together at a football match for a while. So looking forward to it, Mark.
Yeah, it should be a very enjoyable match. Good to see you as always, John. I mean, that move there initially just started from Robert Sanchez. Really good play out from the back, left foot. Found Chelsea out wide on the left-hand side. And that what caused Manchester City a little bit of bother. But in the end, I think Reece James just probably had second thoughts as to where he was going to play the ball. And that enabled Guardiola to make the crucial block.
Well, I think everyone, all the Chelsea fans, certainly so interested to see how Chelsea will look today after the events of Monday night. That crazy game of football, as Reece James refers to it in the matchday programme today. Here's the fair head, Conor Gallagher. What a lovely flick by Nicholas Jackson, almost sets through Sterling. But Kyle Walker was aware, and suddenly just a burst of pace from Walker to nip in on Raheem Sterling and take the ball away from him. And Manchester City have got the ball at the back with Walker, who turns and plays it to Ederson in the 6-yard box. Jackson quickly onto him, but right at the nick of time, as is Ederson's way, he's able to play it out to Guardiola on the left-hand side.
Yeah, he's just unbelievable, isn't he, Ederson? He's always just so cool and calm. That did get a little bit close for liking.
Yeah, but it does so often, Mark.
You're right,
With
you're
Ederson.
right. He's done it time and time again.
Oh, that's given away to Haaland, but it's bounced off Haaland. And that is very fortunate for Chelsea. Cole Palmer, I think it was, who passed it straight to Erling Haaland. Old habits die hard, but Thiago Silva was able to nip in and play the ball back.
Well, only because of the fact that Haaland just took such a bad touch on his first try attempt there, and I think he was just completely caught off guard as that ball was played square across him. Had he have taken a proper control, I don't think Thiago Silva would have had a chance in hell to try and catch up with him.
And here's Jeremy Doku. Jeremy Doku getting the ball down. He's 25 yards out. He plays it infield to Alvarez. Now out to Bernardo Silva on the left-hand side. Bernardo Silva being chased by Cole Palmer, who flips the challenge in, and then it eventually bounces behind for what is given as, by Anthony Taylor, a goal kick off Palmer onto Bernardo Silva and through for a goal kick. So more on that in a moment. But on the subject of tries, Northampton Exeter, what's the latest, Adam Whitty?
Exeter has scored a second try, but it's likely too little too late. Scott Seo, the Wallaby replacement prop, barged down the Saints' door to score under the post. Northampton 27, Exeter 12, 10 minutes to go. Saracens lead Newcastle 36-12 in the other Premiership game today.
And earlier it finished Dragons 10, Leinster 33 in the United Rugby Championship. But Chelsea 0, Manchester City 0 in our latest Premier League commentary today. We've brought you commentary on all of the matches today. 7 in total this weekend, as Phil Foden is caught, I think, by Cucurella. The ball bounced away from him. Cucurella was very quickly in on him, and Foden has gone down clutching his ankle. It's Raheem Sterling, I think, who stepped in ahead of Cucurella and caught Foden.
Well, I think he's got a touch from both Cucurella and Sterling there, but Phil Foden's fine. He's up again. But I think if you watch this first opening couple of minutes of this game, Chelsea are certainly on the front foot, and they are high intensity, high energy. They do not want Manchester City settled in this game. I also think it's a bit more confidence from that game against Spurs on Monday night.
Yeah, Chelsea, who've won only one Premier League match at Stamford Bridge this season, the game against Luton Town. So won one of their 6 Premier League home matches. But with that win at Tottenham, they're now on a run of just 1 defeat in their last 7. And it does feel that maybe things are beginning to happen under Pochettino. Jackson playing it through the middle to Fernandes. I think he was tugged back there. Referee Taylor has played the advantage. Could have been a free kick. Here's Sterling now. Sterling up against Walker. Angles it to Cucurella. Foden just in with a touch to take it away from the hairy one. And behind for a goal kick. A corner.
Yeah, he does really, really well. Cucurella first and foremost, but Phil Foden defensively absolutely outstanding. He does not let Cucurella go. He stays with him the whole way. So often we see attacking minded players just switch off slightly, but he never did. It was a really good challenge in the end.
Yeah, Cucurella in the team because Colwell's injured. Corner then, Palmer to take it against his old club, but caught. Cheers from the Manchester City fans who are down that end, comfortably, confidently by Ederson. 3 or 4 strides outside his 6-yard box, arms stretched high, and was able to hold on. So Chelsea with Colwell out with a shoulder injury, we're told. So we'll find out later whether that's going to rule him out of the England squad. Another player ruled out of the England squad. Rodri to the right-hand side to Foden. This is lovely stuff from Manchester City. Alvarez with the cross. It's blocked and it lands at the feet of Caicedo, who will pass it away for Chelsea. So the home side, Mauricio Pochettino's team, Sanchez in goal, James, Disasi, Thiago Silva and Cucurella. And here is Sterling breaking from the halfway line against his old club. Up to the edge of the area, little ball into Jackson, who tried to give it back, but there were sky blue shirts all around him. And then Doku is fouled, but referee Taylor plays another advantage, because Doku got another touch on that to reach Haaland on the halfway line. As Manchester City now, 4 of them coming forward. Chelsea players dropping back into position, and Bernardo Silva has decided just a little bit of caution is needed, just allows the ball to come to a rest. And then Manchester City go from left to right to Phil Foden. A lovely rhythm to the game in these early moments. Foden to Walker. Walker's cross into Cucurella. And then behind for a corner. I did wonder whether it had come back onto the Manchester City man, but it was behind off Cucurella. Corner to City.
Yeah, it's lovely little intricate passing from Chelsea initially. It was one-touch football. That's what caught City out. Because of that movement off the ball, it was very simple. City had no answers to it. It was just a wayward passing that lets them down. Manchester City, though, on the counter are very dangerous.
Now here's Alvarez taking the corner. He scored in all 3 matches he played against Chelsea last season. All 3 matches he's played against Chelsea for Manchester City. So Alvarez, the World Cup winner, waiting to take this corner from the right-hand side. Referee Taylor is, well, there's certainly some pushing going on there involving Disasi and referee Taylor. And even though referee Taylor's walking across, it's Diaz and Disasi, and the two of them leaning into one another, and Anthony Taylor's just left them to it. Alvarez plays it into the near post, poor corner, hit it low, was easily touched away by Palmer, but Doku has got it back after his great involvement in the win against Bournemouth last weekend. But Sterling has recovered it for Chelsea, and Sterling plays it forward to Jackson, and Jackson against Walker, touched it past him one way, tried to then go round the other, but was beaten for pace. Of course he was, by Kyle Walker.
I mean, every time you saw that, the minute Jackson got through, or sort of half through, you looked up and you could see it was Kyle Walker coming across. He just felt, and I think Jackson knew it himself, he just doesn't have the pace to outdo Kyle Walker. Not many players do. As he knocks the ball around him, Kyle Walker, even though he's got his back to play, he's able to turn around and make up the ground and make the interception. Absolutely brilliant.
So this Manchester City lineup, as I suggested earlier, Akanji stepping forward into midfield. John Stones is injured, as you probably know. Nathan Aki, incidentally, picked up an injury in training, so he's not involved against his former club today. So Akanji, sometimes alongside Diaz, sometimes in midfield with Rodri. And then that line of 4, Foden, Alvarez, Bernardo Silva and Doku. Doku has started on the left, Mark, with Foden on the right. You know, that can change. And then, of course, the top scorer, Haaland, through the middle.
Yeah, I think that's very fluid, isn't it? Because just a moment ago, Doku was over here on the right-hand side. I mean, that's very fluid. I think they're just going to be moving along that forward line there, and they're going to try and catch Chelsea unawares, or certainly are napping at times.
You've just switched on to us on 5 Live. 8 minutes played here on a rather dank autumn afternoon in West London, and Ederson hitting a long pass with his left foot, aiming for Foden, who tried to pull it down, didn't get a touch on it. I mean, he can be absolutely magnificent with that first touch, but it was heading, I don't think it got much above head height all the way down the pitch, and took a touch out of play for a throw to Chelsea.
It was a superb ball from Ederson. I think just the problem was Foden, I think, just stepped a little bit inside too soon. Had he have kept his feet on the touch line, that would have been absolutely inch perfect for him. Unfortunately, when he came inside, it just happened to be a little bit too far in front of him and too far out to the right. He just ran out of space in the end.
Producer Rob Northman is suggesting to me it might have been like a 1-iron or maybe a 2-iron. Here's Walker, the Manchester City number 2, to Foden, and then Cucurella and Gallagher are there with him, and the ball's deflected out of play for a throw into Manchester City. So Pep Guardiola's team today: Ederson in goal, Walker, Akanji, Diaz and Guardiola, Rodri, Foden, Alvarez, Bernardo Silva, Doku and Haaland. Throw in taken by Walker into the edge of the penalty area. Foden works it back to Guardiola. Now he has Doku on the left-hand side. Doku, Reece James is backpedaling against him. Doku managed to get a little bit of space, tried to play it across the edge of the box, but it was intercepted there by Fernandes, who hit it downfield for Jackson, but it was tidied up by Akanji, who returned it to goalkeeper Ederson. 10 minutes played This has got a good feel to it, Mark Schwarzer. I don't want to curse it, but it's got something about it. We could have a good one on our hands here. I've cursed it.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think a lot of it's down to the way that Chelsea's started this game. They've started really high with high intensity. They're trying to prevent City from having as much time on the ball. They're trying to push them back every opportunity they have, and it's creating a good game so far.
Chelsea, as I say, finding a little bit of form, but Manchester City on one of those winning runs of theirs. They've won 6 in a row in all competitions since the defeat at Arsenal early last month, and Ederson this time gets his distribution wrong with a pass out towards the right-hand side down here, the Manchester City right, that sailed over the head of Diaz and out of play for a throw-in to Maurizio Pochettino's Chelsea, who win a throw-in. Cucurella just running his hands through that long black hair and then taking the throw back to Fernandes, who hits it across the penalty area. Sanchez bounces up onto his thigh. Haaland's in front of him, but he passes it out to Reece James, not in the England squad. Pass back to Reece James, who's a little short, but he just got a touch on it. And now here's Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer away down the left-hand side. Palmer into the penalty area on his left foot, shoots, but that's blocked by Akanji. James was there with him though. Back to Palmer. Palmer to Gallagher. Gallagher lifts it into the penalty area. Palmer trying to reach it. It's headed back, and Ederson had to come and catch it above the head of his former teammate Palmer.
Yeah, very lucky there from Manchester City. In the end, some really good defending. I think it was Guardiola that got caught out in midfield there. He tried to win the ball as it was getting played through, and it was Reece James just had too much pace, got his toe on the ball, and that's what started the initial counter-attack. And it was high-flying to Cole Palmer in the end. She probably took one touch too long, too many, and therefore was able to be blocked quite easily.
Yes, I think at one point there I almost slipped into the old trick of calling him Cole Porter, but Cole Palmer looking bright in these early stages against the club that he left at the end of the transfer window after looking so good actually in the early stages of the season. Had his injury problems at Manchester City, so didn't play a great part last season, but already this season, before he moved to Chelsea, he scored in the Community Shield, and he also scored in the UEFA Super Cup final for Manchester City. But now he is very much concentrating on life in London. Very good piece on him I read in the newspaper this morning. Matt Law talking about how he wants to get a chef involved and the various things that he's doing. He wants to learn Spanish here, just underlining the commitment that he's got to his new club. I think it's an interesting move. I must say it was certainly not one that I was expecting. Pep Guardiola, whenever I heard him speak about Cole Palmer, was always full of what he might do for Manchester City. But that's in the past. He's a Chelsea player. And here's Foden, very much Manchester City. Palmer, like Foden, a Manchester City fan, Manchester born. Here's Haaland playing it out to the left-hand side to Guardiola. Doku, who scored one and set up 4 last weekend. Extraordinary day for him. Back to Guardiola on the halfway line. This atmosphere inside Stamford Bridge, you don't often hear it like this for a Premier League match. Manchester City fans in great voice, Chelsea fans trying to respond. Doku keeps it in on the far side. James caught in possession by Doku, who came round from behind him. Back to the bearded Guardiola, who sees it back to the halfway line to Diaz. And then through to Akanji, who picks out a low pass to Doku, who's going to run at James again. Again, James retreating. Doku pulls it across, but Disasi was there on the edge of the 6-yard box to clear it aerially out for a throw down the left.
Yeah, Doku's really dangerous. He's out wide on the touchline there. He gave himself a little bit more space. Reece James tucked in a bit. The minute he got the ball, Reece James was a little bit slow from going out to try and close him down. By the time that he did, Doku already had real good control of the ball, and he had to really time it properly not to dive in, and Doku got the cross across, and it was only Thiago Silva in the end that was really well positioned to make the clearance.
Really looking forward to seeing this. The early stages, Doku against Reece James, who's only just recovered from injury, and then Akanji is just clipped there by Gallagher as he took the ball forward from the centre circle, so that is a free kick just forward and left of the centre circle. It's an interesting one with Reece James. Gareth Southgate saying on Thursday afternoon that he'd spoken to James. James felt that he just wasn't quite right yet to be involved with England. He felt that the best thing was for him to stay with Chelsea and not be involved in these internationals, the final 2 group matches. And he's got here one of the real tests of any player's fitness as City take this free kick to Bernardo Silva on the left-hand side. Guardiola, only 10 yards away, comes back centrally, where it's little touch square. Walker then plays it infield to Rodri, who's got some space here. Watch out, into the area. Alvarez shoots from the angle, but Cucurella was right in front of him, deflected it. The ball, that high vis ball, looped up and over into the lower tier of the Matthew Harding stand for a corner.
Yeah, Cucurella did well, because often you see a defender there dive in, trying to make a lunging block. He stays on his feet the whole time, doesn't panic, doesn't open up too much his legs, doesn't create that opportunity for Alvarez to slot through his legs, which gives then Sanchez absolutely no chance to make the save. Instead, makes a really good block.
Corner, Alvarez to take this. Alvarez with the outswinger to the back post, which is headed down by Guardiola through a crowd of players, but straight at that man in black, Robert Sanchez, who was able to scoop it up.
Yeah, it was clearly worked on that free kick there. Also the corner, the movement. Guardiola from right at the far post tucks inside. He loses his runner, loses the marker of Cucurella there. Just can't get enough power on that header. It's a pretty simple save for Sanchez in the end.
So it is Chelsea 0, Manchester City 0. If you've just switched onto us on 5 Live, or indeed found us on BBC Sounds or on the World Service, the ball goes back to Sanchez, the goalkeeper for Chelsea. Right-footed clearance from him is... well, he's managed to split Cucurella and Sterling, but not within 15 yards of either of them, and it's out of play for a throw-in to Manchester City that Walker is going to take. One of the ball boys or girls who's very well covered up down there has just managed to find the ball behind Kyle Walker, who had a little look over his shoulder just to see what they were doing. But Walker has got this ball now to throw in towards Haaland, but Thiago Silva dived in. Comes back for Manchester City. Alvarez now. Alvarez challenged by Gallagher. Well played, Gallagher. Alvarez dwelt on the ball, but then Rodri blocked the pass of Fernandes, who looks to the heavens. And now it finds its way to Palmer on the right-hand side from Reece James. Took a little while to get it under control. Left-footed ball downfield. Akanji was there ahead of Jackson to put it out of play for a throw to Chelsea down the right.
Yeah, I mean, you can see Cole Palmer is often in this first half, and even this opening nearly 20 minutes or so, always available down that right-hand side. City are quite happy to tuck in and allow him to have a little bit of space, but the minute the ball goes out to him, they're onto him like a flash.
Here's Sterling now on the left-hand side. Sterling left out of the England squad this week. Time running out for him to win back his place before the Euros. Raheem Sterling, who spent such a long time, 7 seasons as a Manchester City player. He has Palmer on the right-hand side at Manchester City since he was a little boy. Comes back to Fernandes. Right-footed ball, cleared out to Gallagher. Gallagher shot, but it's straight. Right between the eyes it was going for Ederson, who was able to pat it down.
Yeah, in the end it was quite comfortable. I'm going to say, so far as say that Ederson actually made it look comfortable. I mean, I think he moves his feet really well, Ederson. It makes it look really, really simple. There's a slight little shuffle to his left-hand side. And he actually almost caught it. I don't think we see that very often these days. Goalkeeper actually keeping the ball under control and catching it.
No, the last moment he said, I can't catch it. So he patted it down and picked it up on the bounce. So 0-0. Chelsea 0, Manchester City 0. I saw the last match between the two at the end of last season when Chelsea lost 1-0. And Manchester City had been confirmed as champions actually the night before, when Arsenal had been beaten at Nottingham Forest. So Alvarez scored the goal in that one. They played each other 4 times last season. Manchester City won all 4, knocked Chelsea out of both domestic cups. And in actual fact, since Porto, since the Dragao, the Champions League final, Thomas Tuchel's team, since Chelsea won that, Manchester City have won 6 out of 6, and Chelsea have not scored a goal against Manchester City in those 6 matches. Here is Caicedo looking for the run of Palmer, but Guardiola was there first. Back to Ederson in the D on the edge of his penalty area. Delayed clearance from Diaz, and Chelsea were all over him. Gallagher won it back, now Sterling. Sterling couldn't find the pass to the edge of the area. Well, he had the choice there of Palmer or Jackson, and he played it in between them, and Manchester City were able to clear.
Yeah, I think he had no alternative. I think Jackson was offside the whole time, and I think Sterling saw it as well. Jackson didn't try to get back on it. He tried to hold his run, but he was still quite a bit offside. And instead, Sterling tries to find that ball in behind to Palmer. It just wasn't enough space for him.
This excellent rhythm continues, and now it's Manchester City coming forward. Rodri, middle of the Chelsea half to Docky to his left. Now Bernardo Silva on the left-hand side. His cross comes off the head of James, straight up in the air. James challenges for it. Doku's in there as well. Chelsea are claiming that Doku committed a foul. In comes the ball from the left-hand side, and Thiago Silva's able to head it on the dive in front of Haaland over the top of his own crossbar. And it is behind, and Thiago Silva just keeping an eye on him. There's a yellow card.
He's given a penalty.
He's given a penalty. He's given a penalty for that initial challenge, I think, on Doku. Well, Chelsea can't believe it. Cucurella's got his arms raised to the assistant.
I think he's given a penalty against Cucurella, a foul on Haaland at the far post.
Why, in front of, well, Thiago Silva was heading it away. So you're suggesting that Cucurella on Haaland?
Yes, I think that's why he's given the foul, because that's why Cucurella has got the yellow card. And I think it's because he's a foul. The referee's deemed it to be a foul on Haaland. He will see it here on the replay game.
Well, clearly VAR will be watching this, and actually the pictures that we've seen it for the first time there, as Thiago Silva is heading it over the crossbar. Behind him, Cucurella is tugging at the shirt, quite obviously, of Haaland.
I mean, Haaland does really well. He's very clever, because Haaland has the initial tug on the shirt. He pulls Cucurella as he gets in behind him. Then Cucurella pulls him down, and that's what the referee's seen, and that's what the referee's given the penalty for.
So halfway through the first half, it's a penalty. VAR are still having a look at this, though. They're not. It's not been absolutely rubber stamped yet from Stockley Park. And is there a suggestion here that Doku, in that initial challenge that I mentioned involving Caicedo and James, there's a suggestion that Doku may have committed a foul?
My initial reaction is that is a foul from Doku. He doesn't even go for the ball, and then in doing so, James gets knocked over, and I think that's a free kick, but we'll see as it goes on.
Well, the penalty still hasn't been confirmed because of that, and another yellow card has been shown there, and I think that might have been for interfering with the penalty spot, that latest yellow card. I mean, the players, there must be 8 or 10 players gathered round. Impossible to see who it was who was doing that. Reece James is speaking to Anthony Taylor down there. We're still waiting, and the decision is a penalty. It has been given as a penalty. So there is confirmation, and Erling Haaland, of course, waiting with the ball tucked under his arm. Haaland fouled by Cucurella for the decision that led to the penalty. And he now, once Anthony Taylor can clear the penalty spot, it will be Haaland against Robert Sanchez.
When you see it again in the replay, you can see Haaland, he's so clever. He's got hold, they've both got hold of each other. And Haaland has the initial tug on Cucurella that allows him to get the upper hand on him. And as he's around, that's when Cucurella pulls back on him and Haaland falls to the floor. And therefore, that's what the referee gives the penalty for.
So, Erling Haaland with his 6th penalty of the season. Scored 4, missed 1 against Sheffield United. Did score 1 in the Champions League in midweek. And here, from 12 yards, the chance to score his 16th goal of the season in all competitions. Robert Sanchez has not yet retreated to his line, which he is now being told to do by Anthony Taylor. So in front of the Matthew Harding stand, it is Erling Haaland who leans forward. This massive blonde-haired Norwegian places the ball on the spot, pulls up his sky blue socks, and then 4-5 steps back, stands, feet apart, up comes, left-footed, sends Sanchez the wrong way, and Manchester City take the lead. Haaland runs away, arms raised, punches the air, down in that corner of the ground, and Erling Haaland, for the first time, scores against Chelsea. That's another one ticked off, and it is Chelsea 0, Manchester City 1.
Never a doubt, was it really? I mean, Haaland stepped up there, very cool, very calm. Knows exactly where he's going to go. Sanchez makes it a little bit easier for him because he goes really early. But Haaland just slots it to his left-hand side. Very cool, very well taken penalty.
25 minutes almost on the clock. Chelsea 0, Manchester City 1. And I think maybe the most committed of Chelsea supporters will say that Haaland made more of that than he should have done. But I think the pictures confirm it as a foul by Cucurella on Haaland. Unless you disagree, Mark.
No, like I said earlier on, I just said that I thought Haaland was very clever. Some would say he may have got away with it because he may have fouled initially. He pulls on Cucurella's on his arm. gets the upper hand, and at that point, if Cucurella puts any arms on him, if he's going to pull any tug of the shirt, any striker is going to go down in that situation, and that's what Haaland does.
So Chelsea 0, Manchester City 1. The last 4 Premier League meetings between these sides have finished 1-0 to Manchester City, and that's exactly what the score is now, as Gallagher is fouled by Diaz, and it's a free kick to Chelsea 10 yards inside their own half. Back to Northampton, Exeter, Adam Whitty.
Where Northampton have brushed aside the early season pace setters Exeter Chiefs for a third win in a row. 34-19 rather, the margin of error. Second half comeback for the Chiefs ended by Niall Armstrong's red card. Fraser Dingwall sewed up the bonus point win shortly after. Saints overtake Exeter into fourth. They've beaten Exeter 34-19. Saracens beat Newcastle 50-12 in the other Premiership game today.
50-12 Saracens against Newcastle as Manchester City lose possession. Bernardo Silva, Gallagher couldn't give it to Sterling, or at least Sterling couldn't get a meaningful touch on that. Took it wide, then gives it to Gallagher inside the box. Gallagher takes it back outside the area. Caicedo with a shot, but that's blocked by a combination of Rodri and Alvarez. One of the two of them, they were standing close to one another on the edge of the D. Chelsea coming forward. Ball to Fernandes, drags it back to the edge of the area to Gallagher. Bounces off Gallagher as the challenge comes in. And referee Taylor has brought it back for a late foul on Fernandes. So a free kick to Chelsea, left of centre, something like 22 yards out.
Yeah, he was looking for the advantage, the referee, and because there was no advantage for Chelsea, that's why he brings it back for the foul. And I mean, Chelsea at the times there, they looked to try and move the ball out wide. Gallagher's ball to Sterling was a really good ball. Sterling just miscontrolled it. Had he have taken a good touch, he's in with a half a chance on goal. Instead, he takes a big touch. Then by the time they try and get the ball back across to the face of the goal, it's way too late. City have got that's 2 big banks of 4 and 5, and there's no way through.
Free kick then for Chelsea. Manchester City 1-0 up. Manchester City with the chance today to open a clear lead at the top of the Premier League after what would be 12 matches played. But Chelsea, we've seen enough from them so far in this match to suggest they could cause Manchester City problems, and they've got this opportunity. Cucurella standing to the right of the ball, Reece James to the left. Thiago Silva is orchestrating things. James takes it, and Ederson has to leap to his left and push it up and over the top of the top right corner as James looked at it.
Yeah, he does well. He makes it look quite easy in the end. But the thing is, James's free kick, it's a really good free kick. It's just not in the corner enough. It's probably 3/4 away across the goal to Ederson's left-hand side. Ederson only had 3 men on the wall. Chelsea had 2 players in the hole. So therefore, Ederson was further in the middle of the goal. That gave him the chance to make that save.
Corner, Chelsea, Gallagher to the near post. Thiago Silva heads it in at the near post. A little glance, and it found its way past Ederson and inside the far post. And Chelsea are back level. Only 3 minutes since Manchester City took the lead. Now it's back all square.
Yeah, it's a brilliant ball into the box. Great corner, great direction and whip on that cross. Thiago Silva's timing of the run towards the near post. He's almost on the point of the 6-yard box when he heads that ball, but he gets the angle absolutely 100% spot on. Just goes inside the far post. Ederson gets drawn to that near post, and he's got no chance to react. Great header.
1-1. Just a perfect touch from Thiago Silva, running across it. It just needed the glance, and he got that absolutely right.
I mean, he's a long way out. He's in almost the point of the 6-yard box when he heads that ball. Ederson's actually still moving as he heads the ball. I don't think Ederson believes that Thiago Silva's going to get to that header. And when he does, it almost sort of goes half through Ederson. Actually, I was a bit surprised it went in there, but it was just because he was on the move still, and he got caught out. They take nothing away from the header. I mean, it's a great header. It's a really good direction of the header. Just the angle and the distance from the goal surprised me that it ended up in the back of the net.
Still not kicked off yet. Joe's makes me slightly uneasy. But I think Anthony Taylor, yeah, there's the indication. The goal stands. Chelsea 1, Manchester City 1. And Thiago Silva on the score sheet at the age of 39. Ederson Long clearance from him, having just been beaten. Cucurella jumps for it with Haaland. That's the pair who tangled for the conceding of the penalty. Cucurella clears, comes off Fernandes. Cucurella had to get up and then hook it away from the dead ball line, otherwise that would have been a corner. And then Kyle Walker stands on the ball, so Sterling's got it back. The pace here is quite something, particularly when you think Manchester City, all right, they won comfortably against young boys, but involved in the Champions League. Made 5 changes from that team. But Sterling now away down the left, but Diaz goes to ground, slides in, takes it away from Sterling. And now Manchester City again with Foden. In comes Fernandes to tackle it out of play. And it is a throw-in on the halfway line to Manchester City.
I tell you what, it's great viewing, isn't it? If you want to watch a game of football where there's little triangles all over the pitch, great first-time control, one-touch passes, absolutely brilliant. And that little phase there, both sides, Chelsea initially, then it was Manchester City in possession, was really good. And the recovery from both sides to defend against it was exceptional.
Manchester City with the ball inside their own half as Diaz plays it back towards the edge of the penalty area. Incidentally, never got the chance to say it because of the action, the way that Chelsea came back into it, that Mauricio Pochettino was waving his finger after the penalty was given to Manchester City, certainly intimating that he felt that it was not a penalty. Here's Foden, excellent, beats 3 men down the right, and then Foden's cross to the back post. Haaland arriving. I'm not sure Sanchez got a touch on that. He was scrambling back along his goal line, stretched for the ball, and Haaland arriving virtually on the white line at the far side, could only play it into the side netting.
I mean, Phil Foden, absolutely exceptional. He beats 3 Chelsea players. Thiago Silva, Cucurella. I mean, he just gets around. That's just the 2 of them there. And also, I think it was Fernandes as well. He just dissects them, gets through, gets that ball to the far post. I actually think he's going for goal. Sanchez gets back as far as he can. He goes that full spring, can't get to it, and Haaland almost pops around in the far post to tap it in, just misses the goal.
I think Sanchez was a little concerned that it might actually drop in from the Foden cross into the far top corner.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not quite sure whether Foden was going for that far post or whether he was aiming for Haaland. I mean, Haaland was there. It just was so close. In the end, it didn't get to either properly. Didn't find the back of the net, and obviously Haaland just couldn't get around it enough to find the back of the net as well.
So, 2 goals in the first half hour. Chelsea 1, Manchester City 1. You're listening to it with us. BBC Radio Sport on 5 Live and the World Service. Doku playing the ball into the penalty area, looking for Bernardo Silva. Disassi is able to sprint across and clear it out of play. And I think perhaps was caught, was he? No, it's out for a throw-in. Just thought Anthony Taylor there perhaps had given that for a late foul by Bernardo Silva on Disassi. But no, it's a throw-in to Manchester City on the far side in front of the West Stand. Absolutely packed Stamford Bridge. Can hardly see a spare seat for this one. And it's certainly living up to expectations. Kyle Walker on the halfway line goes back into his own half. And Manchester City start again. Mauricio Pochettino pacing around there in his soft black shoes with their white soles. Pep Guardiola just to his left as City play it down the left-hand side to Doku. James across tight. Manages to hook it away with his right foot. Now it finds its way to Gallagher, who put in the corner for Thiago Silva's equalising goal. But now Rodri is able to step away with the ball. Foden in the area, curls it. Oh, so close. He curled it past Cucurella, beyond the dive of Sanchez, and just wide of the far post.
Yeah, again, Phil Foden, every time he gets the ball, you just think something's going to happen. Rodri sets him up. Simple little ball. Foden takes it on his left. He curls it for that far post. From where we're sitting, I thought that was in. It's just missed the far left-hand post. Gone out for a goal kick, but what a play from Phil Foden. He is such a talent.
It's like an optical illusion, that, wasn't it? I was like you. I thought that's curling in, and it curled wide. So 1-1 it is. By the way, Manchester City's record when scoring first recently in the Premier League. Guardiola bring it forward, finds Foden on the right-hand side, who's started this game in superb form. Foden back in field towards Rodri. Rodri picks out Doku, far side of the penalty area. He's up against James again. James does well, gets the tackle in, kept his eye on the ball. The Chelsea captain, the right back, and just put in the tackle at the right moment, and then Jackson wins the throw in on the halfway line.
Yeah, Doku just seemed to be in acres of space, and it just seemed like almost he couldn't believe himself how much room he had. And he took just too long on that touch. No one reacted other than Reece James. He was really quick. to go out there and make the challenge.
Right, Mark Schwarzer. Of Manchester City's last 68 matches in the Premier League, when they have scored first, how many of those do you think they've lost? 68.
I'd say one.
One. Correct.
Thanks, Rob. Rob behind you, lifting his finger up, helping me out. I was going to say zero, actually. I'm going to be honest. I was going to say none.
I had a feeling there was some sort of chicanery going on. Yeah, 68. Last 68 matches in the Premier League when Manchester City have scored first, they've won 61, drawn 6 and lost 1. So who was the defeat against? Oh, these are I don't know. It's actually Rob who gave me this, so we'll find that out in a moment or two. I have to say, it doesn't immediately come to mind. What I was going to say is watching Pochettino and Guardiola on the touchline, takes me back to that absolute classic in the Champions League quarter-final in 2019. I mean, that was one of the best games, I think, most eventful, most dramatic, most exciting matches that I've covered in all these long years. And Raheem Sterling very nearly scored a hat-trick in that one. The goal that was ruled out right at the end and sent Tottenham through. Oh, a missed ball, and now across Sterling! Sterling's in! Manchester City! A slip at the back. What a slip from Guardiola, who hangs his head. And Chelsea were onto that in a flash. The ball was played across the 6-yard box, and there was Raheem Sterling to score against Manchester City for Chelsea and to put Mauricio Pochettino's team 2-1 up.
Yeah, it's just come from nothing really, hasn't it? I mean, the ball gets played in behind, and Guardiola, you think he's got this, he's got no problems, he just makes a real hash of it. And Reece James is really quick to react, sees Raheem Sterling at that far post, plays a fantastic ball across the face of the goal, and Sterling, all he has to do is get something on it, and he scores with ease.
Well, after they were involved in that remarkable game on Monday night at Tottenham, Chelsea might have another one on their hands here. 1-0 down against the champions, now 2-1 up.
I'm going to say, having seen it on the replay there, Guardiola, I feel for him because he's in a right position. He does everything right. It's the ball from Cole Palmer that gets played in there, and Guardiola gets caught out by the lack of pace in it. And as he makes that run into the box to try and cut it out, he ends up running past the ball, and it comes off his heel and falls to Reece James, who's able to then, first time, find Raheem Sterling at that far post and allow him just to slot it home. Better goal for Manchester City, you can see, but Chelsea took their chance.
Raheem Sterling will have enjoyed that one. In the 6-yard box, just had to turn it in, really. Set up by Reece James. Sterling left out of the England squad. City coming forward. Now they have to look for the equaliser. Foden turned across by Alvarez. Disassi on the edge of the 6-yard box is able to readjust and clear it with his left foot out for a throw down the right-hand side. It's ding-dong.
It certainly is. I mean, that's the way. By the game. End stuff.
Going to make another prediction, Mark. It's not normally something that I do, but I'm going to say this is not going to finish. Chelsea 2, Manchester City 1.
Well, John, I think you may have hopefully not put
well, I said that earlier.
This one.
I said that earlier.
I know.
It's proving
too soon though, John. Too soon.
Here is Walker on the right-hand side. Walker goes through the challenge of Sterling, and it bounced up, I think, into Walker's hand. That is given as a handball. Walker walks away rather indignantly, carrying the ball, and has to turn and throw it back to Cucurella.
So, John, Leeds United.
Yes.
I'm just thinking Leeds United. Were they the team that beat Manchester City after Manchester City took the lead? I don't know. There's something in my... I think it's possibly Leeds United. I don't know.
Oh, that's a... She trolled that one up without being told the answer. Again, that's...
No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't told the answer.
That's very good. Well, I don't know if it's right yet.
I was at the game, so I just can't remember. I think Manchester City scored first.
Here come Chelsea again. Reece James breaks away from the halfway line, and he's almost found Sterling, but not quite. Walker comes back. Fernandes with a shot that's blocked inside the box by Guardiola, who threw himself in front of the line of fire and blocked it. And now Cucurella's chasing Rodri all the way down towards the corner flag. Rodri's cleared it. He's given it back to Chelsea. Manchester City are rattled here. Chelsea have unsettled them. And Chelsea are looking like a different animal.
They have, yeah. Chelsea have rattled them, and it's more so to do with their intensity, their work rate. Chelsea, I don't know how long they can maintain it. Every time that Manchester City get the ball, Chelsea are at them. They are at their heels. They're trying to hustle them. They're trying to win the ball every opportunity they can. They don't want City to settle on the ball.
No, and Cucurella now carrying it over the halfway line. Cucurella, he's got Jackson in front of him, gives it to Sterling on the left-hand side. Sterling has just scored for the first time against Manchester City. Lovely footwork from him, curls it across the box, but beyond the far post. And it is a goal kick, and warm applause, approving applause from the Chelsea fans in front of us here in the steeply banked East Stand, just looking down over their heads.
You can see exactly what Raheem Sterling was trying to do there, and it was the right moment. It just couldn't control the direction, couldn't get enough whip on it as well. I mean, I think had it been on target, it would have been one hell of a job for Ederson to make a save.
So Chelsea 2, Manchester City 1, and the ball's bounced off Alvarez to Gallagher, and Chelsea now 25 yards out. Jackson just played it straight into the legs of Diaz in front of him. There were options there. Jackson wasn't able to use them, and now Manchester City, Bernardo Silva, he's off and running through to Haaland. Lovely touch, Haaland through the middle, down goes Sanchez to make an outstanding save. Seemed certain Haaland would score again, but the left foot shot was a little close to Sanchez, if you're going to have to be really picky about it, but still a very good save from Sanchez.
John, that was an outstanding save. I think Haaland did absolutely everything. Right, he couldn't have done it, Dave.
Brilliant from Haaland as well, incidentally, who took the ball from Bernardo Silva. Here's Doku now, away to the byline. He's away from James. James has recovered. Doku picks out the ball to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva against Caicedo. Back centrally to Rodri. 25 yards out. Square from Rodri to Walker. Walker on the right. Dummy zipped across, but allowed the ball to stop, actually. Controls it. So Cucurella in front of him. And now Foden, the dangerous Foden, drifting infield. Still Foden onto his left foot to shoot low, but Sanchez is able to go down. Full extension, didn't get the power on it, and a routine save, this one for Sanchez.
Yeah, there was one moment there where City just looked again like out of ideas. They had the ball there. Walker had the ball on the right hand side. Phil Foden. There was no movement in front of him. Everybody was just watching, and the two of them had to try and create something. That's where Foden makes that one touch, 1-2 with Kyle Walker, and then decides to go on a run for himself to try and get a shot on goal, which he does, but isn't enough to test Sanchez.
But the previous chance for Haaland. Oh, and there's a Sterling nutmeg on Doku. He enjoyed that. Sterling now gets away from Rodri. Low shot from Jackson. Took it off the toe of Sterling. And Ederson was able to go down to his right and actually save it, catch it.
Yeah, it was a pretty poor effort actually from Jackson there. Sterling made the run. I don't know whether Sterling would have had enough in the leg still to keep himself up. He looked like he was going to fall over. He was out of control. And Jackson just jumps in there and has that shot on goal. Just gets a poor connection. And Ederson does well, like you said, held it.
Chelsea 2, Manchester City 1. And in this match, this thrilling Premier League match here at Stamford Bridge, it feels like almost every time a team comes forward, it's ending up in an effort on goal. We don't want half-time to come, do we, Mark? 1 minute to go of the 45.
No, we don't. I mean, it's been scintillating this first 45 minutes. It's been absolutely brilliant from both sides. They've been right up for this game. Chelsea have surprised me. They have impressed me as well, the way they've played this first half thus far, and they've been really, really good, really intense, really full of energy, and have hustled Manchester City all over the pitch.
The fifth Premier League match of the day. You've been able to hear commentary on all of them on 5 Live, or on Sports Extra, or via the website. Wins for Aston Villa, Liverpool, West Ham, Brighton, Sheffield United ended as a draw. Wins for Rangers and Celtic as well in the Premiership in Scotland. We'll have more on all of that at half-time, and interviews to boot. But here's Guardiola to Akanji. Guardiola gets it back. Caught out his mistake for the second Chelsea goal. Doku now, who Chelsea have done pretty well against, but he goes past Palmer. Doku again drops his shoulder to Belgium, stands up against Palmer, leaves him on the ground, and then Palmer just about able to recover to get a touch on that and put it behind. And actually, Caicedo comes across, and the two of them, Gallagher as well, low fives for Palmer for just about doing the job on Doku.
Yeah, he did well. He was persistent again, high energy, really good work rate there. Didn't allow Doku to get away. Doku had a couple of chances where he could have whipped it in, but elected to take on the player again.
Manchester City corner. Chelsea leading 2-1. Taken out to Bernardo Silva, left-footed ball in. Akanji heads it in. It's 2-2. He found space on the edge of the 6-yard box. And for a central defender, that was as straightforward a header as you get. Into the back of the Chelsea net. Chelsea 2, Manchester City 2.
Yeah, it's just really poor defending from Chelsea. I mean, you just can't allow a big centre-half that much space, being free on the 6-yard box. They work a short corner. Chelsea just don't get out enough. And when they do, some of the players, some go out, some stay deep. And it's Akanji who's just completely free. And he gets a really good header away. And it's in the back of the net, really in the far corner. Sanchez, no chance. He actually slips as he heads the ball, but he's got no chance. It's a really good header from Akanji, but poor defending from Chelsea.
Yeah. It was from Chelsea. You used the phrase, they don't get out enough, like the elderly maiden, and Chelsea's defence just don't get out enough. And therefore, Akanji, brilliantly, but, you know, it was as simple as they come, really.
Yeah, it was. I mean, there was nothing special on the short corner. There was a ball sort of at the edge of the 18-yard box. No one really pushes out, or half go out, half stay in. The ball into the box is a good ball. Wasn't spectacular, but Akanji's just completely free. And it's an easy header for him to get it on target. Sanchez, no chance.
So was Gallagher has slid in on Diaz, who was clearing the ball. And I wouldn't say it was reckless. He just slid in and caught him late, and actually Diaz has kicked against Gallagher as he slid in.
Yeah, I mean, he's gone for the block, hasn't he? The sliding block, Gallagher. And Diaz, as he's connected, Diaz connects it firstly with a ball, makes the clearance, but it's his follow-through that where he gets caught on Gallagher. So the referee, Anthony Taylor, rightfully gives a free kick, but nothing more.
Yep. So a free kick to Manchester City. And as we discussed earlier, Manchester City tend not to lose when they've taken the lead. And it is 2-2 now, and the answer is not Leeds United, but it's actually a match I was at, the Manchester derby of last season at Old Trafford when Jack Grealish scored, but Manchester United won. Remember when Rashford and Fernandes.
So I never would have guessed that. Just wouldn't have thought that, you know, Manchester United would have come back from a goal down against Manchester City.
Yeah, but there they did. So 2-2, a rattling good first half. I hope you've enjoyed it with us as Reece James plays it forward. And Palmer, the ball bounces away from him. Rodri's in on that. Stretch from Bernardo Silva. Lovely ball from Bernardo Silva. Mentioned about the Akanji header, but it was put right on his head by Bernardo Silva's ball in from the left-hand side. So 1-0 Manchester City. Haaland's penalty. Chelsea went 2-1 up. Thiago Silva's header. Raheem Sterling from close range. And now Manuel Akanji scoring, incidentally, for a third consecutive match. Manuel Akanji. Here's Doku. Doku, the ball into the penalty area. Turn from Bernardo Silva. It just ran away from him. And Disasi was able to play it forward to Gallagher. And now Raheem Sterling twisting. He's got sky blue all around him. And he's lost out. Haaland. And then Alvarez to Doku. That dyed blonde little ponytail of his bobbing behind the back of his head. Doku takes it back towards the halfway line. Still haven't managed to actually get through that chance that Haaland had when he was one-on-one with Sanchez. I mean, that's such a big moment in the match. Haaland, who was brilliant, took the pass, beat Thiago Silva. All ends up really just with his quickness of movement, but Sanchez has saved down to his left, so important.
Exactly, the quickness of movement was outstanding because you could see that Thiago Silva, he actually positioned himself perfectly to intercept the pass. The problem was for him, he had Haaland there, who had an electric pace. That explosiveness in that 10-metre period was outstanding to get in front, get his toe on the end of the ball, control it and get the shot away.
6 minutes of added time, we're well into them. We're in the 5th minute. Half-time approaching. 5 Live in the World Service from the BBC. Manchester City with the ball in the centre circle. So Chelsea have finally scored against Manchester City for the first time since the Champions League final of 2021. In fact, they've scored 2 goals. Walker is now fouled by Raheem Sterling. And groans from the home supporters. Then Haaland is tripped by Caicedo, takes a quick free kick. Manchester City aren't done yet. They're not settling for 2-2 at the break. City attacking again. Doku's got his heels on the white line on the far side, then begins to drift infield. He's up against Cole Palmer again. And then James comes across and is able to play it into Doku and behind for a goal kick. And we are now in the final minute of added time. Mark Schwarzer.
Yeah, Doku there on the left-hand side. There's a couple of times in this half where he's trying to rely on his ability to keep control of the ball, nice close control, his pace, his trickery, and he's overdone it. That time he had two players on him. He had just no space anymore. James and Cole Palmer could deal with him quite comfortably. He's got to vary it a little bit. Sometimes he's got to knock the ball a little bit earlier into the box rather than always being predictable like he has been a little bit in this first half.
Goal kick for Chelsea. Sanchez right-footed, long over the halfway line. Sterling beaten in the air by Diaz, as you would expect, and the ball bounces out of play next to Mauricio Pochettino. He's had 22 matches in all competitions. Pochettino against Pep Guardiola's teams, he's won just 4 of them. 2-2 today. Thiago Silva lifts it forward. So we are now over the 6 minutes of added time. Gallagher for Sterling. Sterling to the edge of the area. Jackson now puts his foot on the ball, shoots into Walker. City players there. There were 3 of them around Jackson Aid. Just had no space, and probably a corner was the best he could have got from that.
Yeah, I think he did well. Yeah, he had real limited opportunities there. There was no one really around. I mean, he could have possibly looked to find Gallagher making a late run in the box, but it would have had to be some ball.
There is time to take it still, even though we're well beyond the 6 minutes. Taken short. Then Sterling plays it into the back post, and Ederson away to the far side of the 6-yard box, stretches high, catches it, and that is that. What a rattling good first half that was, Mark Schwarzer. 2-2.
Oh, I'm going to take a breather here because that was absolutely breathtaking, and the pace and the intensity of that first half was right up there.
Yeah, 2-2. So City in front through the Haaland penalty, his 16th goal of the season. But Manchester City conceded 2 goals, conceded goals to Chelsea for the first time since the Champions League final of 2021. First, Thiago Silva's excellent glancing header from the corner, the Gallagher corner, and then Gvardiol caught out with his mistake at the back, letting in James, who set up Raheem Sterling to score for the first time against Manchester City in a Chelsea shirt. But then Akanji with that header in added time at the end of the first half. Plenty more to add as well, but half-time is all square. Chelsea 2, Manchester City 2.
That's one of the halves of the season, if not the best 45 minutes of the season, Mark Schwarzer.
Yeah, it was brilliant. I mean, look, I was very fortunate enough to be at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Monday night to watch Tottenham against Chelsea, which obviously for other reasons was breathtaking, the way that game unfolded. But this, in terms of pure football, has been outstanding.
The most remarkable thing for me, Mark, is that when you see this Manchester City team, they almost always seem so unflappable and so imperious. They were rattled by Chelsea at times.
They were, and I think it's a great example that if you have the ability, if you can take the game to Manchester City, if you can try and limit the amount of time they have on the ball, disrupt them at every opportunity, you can unstable them a little bit. But the problem is that normally doesn't last very long, and they only need a half a chance to get back in the game. That's how good they are.
2 goalkeeper questions for you. Firstly, on that brilliant Thiago Silva header, is it possible that because he's running across the near post trying to flick it, Ederson might assume it's going near post, and he's actually done it by flicking it into the far corner?
Well, yes. I mean, it's the movement, isn't it? First and foremost, it's the movement from Thiago Silva because he wins the ball so early at that near post area. You can see Ederson feels like he's out of position, so he feels like he has to get to the near post as quickly as he can. And the issue is when you are still moving, when the contact is made on the ball, the direction of the ball's already underway, you get caught out if you're not able to, if it's not within reach to make that reaction. And by the time he actually dives and reacts to it, the ball's gone past him already. So he's better off, and it's easily said than done. Look, yeah, we've all been there before, just to have stopped. Even if he doesn't feel like he's in the right position, stop, give himself an opportunity to set and react to the header.
And at the other end, that Robert Sanchez save. I mean, I imagine lots of people listening just from the sound of John's voice. Haaland has that chance on his left foot with nobody around him. That's a goal. And Sanchez has just produced an unbelievable save.
Yeah, I mean, Haaland's about, maybe 2-3 strides inside the 18-yard box, free, full stride, and he obviously it's sitting perfectly, and he hits it with his left foot, and Sanchez just throws himself. I mean, it is a really, really top-class reactive save, and it's not in the corner, no, but it's the pace, the distance of which he makes the save is outstanding. So it's a top draw save, and less a bad shot. It was a really good shot. It was a very good attempt, but it was more about the outstanding goalkeeping.
And we could go on, but we won't, because we've got to squeeze in a load of reaction to the other Premier League games today. Thank you very much, Mark and John, for the time being. Lines are open now for 606 08085 909 693. I think Manchester City and Chelsea fans, you probably already know you're going to have something to say, and there's 45 minutes still to go. Chelsea-Manchester City, great sporting occasion. If you want to win tickets to another brilliant sporting occasion, then listen up, because 5 Live Breakfast, Win the Headlines, returns tomorrow, giving you the chance to win your way into some of the biggest sporting events in the world. Here's Rachel and Rick to explain more.
Hi Steve, it's Rick and Rach here. I hope you don't mind us interrupting your programme very briefly, but we did want to tell you and your enormous audience about the return of Win the Headlines on 5 Live Breakfast next week.
Yeah, you'll remember Win the Headlines from last year, or whenever it was. We were giving away amazing prizes, genuinely actually amazing prizes. So this time we're going to be giving away tickets to the final of the Euros, the Open, Wimbledon. The list goes on, but I can't remember them, but they're good. And all you have to do is listen to 5 Live, there you go, listen to 5 Live Breakfast every morning, as you do anyway, and then you fill in the blank. You fill in the blank for a bit of commentary.
Yeah.
Do you guess the word?
Simple as that.
And then you're off to these fantastic sporting events.
So join us next week for more of that. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Steve. Bye.
Pleasure. There you go. And you're right, it is an enormous audience. Listen to 5 Live Breakfast tomorrow morning for your chance to win your way to one of the big sporting events in the world. Right, lots of reaction to come to the earlier games in the Premier League, and then second half commentary on an absolute cracker at Stamford Bridge. It's Chelsea 2, Manchester City 2. We'll be back after the news on 5 Live with Stuart Clarkson.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, has condemned what she says were sick anti-Semitic chants and placards at yesterday's pro-Palestinian march in London. In a post on social media, she called for further action against anti-Semitism and also praised the police for the professionalism they showed in the face of the violence from counter-protesters. Mrs Braverman previously accused them of bias towards pro-Palestinian protesters. The Metropolitan Police says it made a total of 145 arrests during the pro-Palestinian march and the counter-protest by far-right groups. 7 people have now been charged with various offences. Here's our correspondent Simon Jones.
We understand the majority of those were from far-right organisations, and 7 people have been charged to appear in court in the coming days. Now, they have been charged with things like criminal damage, resisting arrest, assault, being drunk and disorderly. And the police say their investigations are very much continuing. The police say it takes some time to wade through the footage and information they have.
There are growing fears for premature babies and other vulnerable patients at Gaza's Al-Shifa hospital, which has been at the centre of fierce fighting between Israeli forces and Hamas. The Israeli military said it would help get babies out, but the Hamas-run health ministry in Gaza says it's seen no details. The non-profit body Physicians for Human Rights has been in close contact with staff at the hospital. Its executive director is Guy Shalev.
To evacuate premature babies in incubators as well as other patients connected to respiratory machines and people that needs to be in intensive care unit. There needs to be the equipment, the right staff members in order to do the evacuation. As the situation is on the ground, we cannot see these conditions as possible.
And the King and other members of the royal family have attended the National Remembrance Service at the Cenotaph in central London. A 2-minute silence was also held around the country to commemorate those lost in the First World War and other conflicts since.
On BBC iPlayer.
This is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
I'm Joel Dommett, and this is the most physically demanding and emotionally draining game on TV.
Dragon through the door! You've got this!
Who will outwit, outplay, and outlast the rest?
Do you think there is anyone I should be wary of?
We're all together, but the weakest has to go. To become sole survivor.
I want to stay, I want to compete, and I want to win.
Watch on BBC iPlayer.
This is 5 Live Sport with Steve Crossman.
On 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
And we'll be back to Stamford Bridge shortly. Chelsea 2, Manchester City 2 at half-time in the Premier League. Liverpool are up to second thanks to a 3-0 win over Brentford. 2 goals for Mo Salah, so they're on 27 points, moving ahead of Arsenal on goal difference. Let's hear from a very happy Jurgen Klopp with Mark Scott.
Jurgen, before the game, you said that you thought it was going to be interesting and difficult against Brentford. Is that what we saw?
Yeah, I would say so. More than 20 years ago when I started my career, I wanted to create a team which nobody wants to play against. We face them today. It's crazy. You don't want to play against them. And then the wind and everything and the set pieces. This spell where they had 6 corners in a row or whatever. Oh my God, I don't know how you get through this. It's really difficult. They are so good at that. But we defended with so much passion in that moment. Organization, yes, but you have to make sure you are there in the moment. The goals we scored were fantastic. The first goal I saw when nobody celebrated, and then it counts. It's like, okay, that's different. Usually everybody's celebrating and then the goal doesn't count. Top performances, for example, Darwin, the work rate today, my God, second to none. The kids who were on the bench today, they enjoyed it a lot. James McCallum came on and he obviously enjoyed it as well.
Just finally, I know that you said it's still a work in progress at the moment and you're not quite perfect, but you'll go into that game against Manchester City after the international break with a chance to at least go level on points with them. That's a pretty good start to the season, isn't it?
That's not what I'm thinking about. The thing is that we send the players now to international duties, and let me start thinking about the game when I know who we have available, because that's now a tough one. These boys who played today, they need recovery. I hope they can get that. Then they have the games for their countries, and then they hope they come all back healthy, and then we will try.
Jurgen Klopp with Mark Scott. It is remarkable to think that if it were to be a draw at Stamford Bridge today, then the top 5 in the Premier League would be separated by just 3 points. 08085 909 693. The lines are open for 606. We've already had the Macclesfield manager on the show today, so why don't we speak to the director of football? Hi, Rob.
How did he do? Because if he wasn't very good, Steve, I'll get rid of him.
He was excellent, absolutely excellent. I know you mean you've got history, but
that's okay. As long as he didn't let us down, Steve.
Absolutely not. He was one of the stars of the side. I have a feeling what happens in this next 45 minutes is going to be high on your agenda.
Yeah, listen, I listened to Mark and John in commentary. The first half was fantastic, some outstanding football. For me, the ref gave the penalty, but it's not a penalty. I think the VAR has to look at that.
Why is it not a penalty?
Well, because Haaland pulls Kukurea first.
Got you.
That's why. And you have to look at the whole thing. So, you know, the outcome of that, you know, whether it was a foul initially, was it Doku who nudged, but that wasn't given. But the referee gave the penalty, and the VAR obviously didn't see any clear and obvious errors. But for me, if they look at the whole thing, and they might have, Haaland pulls Kukurea first to get the little yard. So for me, it can't be a penalty. It surely can't, because the first foul was by Haaland.
But
so Robbie, how can that be a penalty?
We've had an amazing first 45 minutes.
But that's what we're going to be talking about, Steve. That's
really? Do you definitely want to be doing a VAR penalty early in the game if it's this good a match?
Well, not really. I'm still waiting to see the unbelievable, incredible save that Sanchez did. Where was that one?
Oh, the Haaland one.
It's a decent save. I'd have saved that.
No, you would not.
Mark Schwarzer would have saved that, so it couldn't have been an incredible save.
I thought it was class. I thought it was class.
No, standard, Steve. Standard. It's a decent save. You know, if Sanchez doesn't save that, I shouldn't be in the team. Let's be fair.
Fair enough.
So it's a good game, but you talk about the title race there, Steve. It's so close. If this is a draw, you know, Liverpool, Chris Sutton said they're going to be City's biggest challengers. And here's one for you, Ward-Prowse, 2 assists today. How is he not in the England squad? And Sterling, what have they got to do to get in the England squad? I can't get it.
909 693. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Steve.
Robbie Savage will be with Chris Sutton for 606 once we are done at Stamford Bridge. Let's get some more reaction to the Premier League games already this afternoon. Great game at the London Stadium. Thomas Souček got a late winner for West Ham as they came from behind to beat Nottingham Forest 3-2. Let's hear from David Moyes with Robin Cowan.
David, that must have been quite a difficult watch at times for you, but you must be so pleased with the outcome.
Oh, I was thrilled with the opening couple of minutes, and I was certainly thrilled when I heard the final whistle as well. So in between it, there's a lot of good things, some not so good, but in the Premier League, you know, you have to take your wins when you get it, and today was a good win.
You also had to fight, you really had to fight today. You must be really pleased with the resilience your team showed.
Well, especially after coming back, on Thursday night we had a 1-0 victory here against Olympiacos, and now victory today. Really difficult to win Thursday, Sunday football in the Premier League with the level of the opposition you've got to play on the Sundays. Sometimes you're having to change your players, but I just think that only the 2-day recovery, sort of getting back for the game's really hard on the players. But look, today it didn't show. We got stronger as the game went on after they made it 2-1. We probably got better in that period of the game. We made 3 or 4 big chances. We didn't quite get them, but in the end we had a world-class set-piece taker who probably got us out of trouble.
That's David Moyes. Aston Villa remain 5th after a 3-1 win over Fulham, and Sheffield United are off the bottom of the table. They came from behind to get a point at Brighton. It finished 1-1 at the Amex. Brighton went down to 10 when Mahmoud Dahoud was sent off for a challenge on Ben Osborne. In the Scottish Premiership, Celtic have restored their 8-point lead at the top thanks to a 6-0 thrashing of Aberdeen. Half of those goals came in stoppage time. Earlier, Rangers won 2-0 at Livingston. In the WSL, Manchester United continued their unbeaten start to the season. They thrashed West Ham 5-0. The leaders Chelsea beat Everton 3-0. Liverpool drew 1-1 with informed Tottenham, and Manchester City were 1-0 winners against Brighton. Down at the bottom, Aston Villa beat Bristol City by 2-0. That is their first win of the season. Great Britain have beaten Sweden to seal a 3-1 win in their Billie Jean King Cup playoff. Let's bring in our correspondent, Russell Fuller. Harriet Dart, Russell, late replacement, but got the job done nicely.
Yes, after Katie Bolter had beaten Kasia Ronaldo Persson 6-1, 7-6, Harriet Dart a 7-5, 6-2 winner over Kasia Henneman to give Great Britain the tie. Playing because Jodie Burrage, who had a very uncomfortable debut on Saturday, was dropped, and Britain's captain Ankie Othebong has been telling me how the team will now need to try and pick Burrage up.
It's going to take time. I don't think you get over a performance like that quickly. It's easy for me to say, look, you've got to shut that out as soon as you can and regroup and focus. But as a former player, I know that can really hurt. And it will take time, and she will figure it out, and we're all here to help and support her. She's got Australia to look forward to in the short run. It's just for me as captain, to show that kind of empathy, and look, I've been there, so I can relate to that and help her on her journey if she's to be part of this team again.
But the team as a whole, Steve, remain in the big time. They will find out later this month who they will play in April. That's the qualifying round. If they win that over a couple of days, they'll have a chance to compete for the trophy in the 2024 finals this time next year.
Thank you, Russell. That's correspondent Russell Fuller. The teams are back out at Stamford Bridge. Let's just settle in and enjoy this. The first half was remarkable. Let's see what the second 45 will bring. Your commentary team for Chelsea, Manchester City, correspondent John Murray and Mark Schwarzer.
Yes, let's hope the half-time break doesn't disrupt things. Chelsea 2, Manchester City 2. Manchester City were in front, Chelsea were in front. All square to start the second half. Manchester City kicking off. Chelsea's team, Sanchez, James, Disasi, Thiago Silva and Cucurella, Caicedo and Fernandes, Palmer, Gallagher, Sterling and Jackson. And Manchester City, who are in possession in the sky blue shirts, white shorts and sky blue socks against Chelsea in the Chelsea blue shirts and shorts, white socks. City, Ederson in goal, Walker, Akanji, Diaz and Guardiol, Rodri, Foden, Alvarez, Bernardo Silva, Doku and Erling. So he's standing one foot in front of the other. Manchester City holding their line just outside the penalty area. Palmer's delivery is headed away by Rodri across the edge of the box. Gallagher is after this. Gallagher with Guardiola, who I think might have just put a hand in his back. Gallagher off the field. It's not given us a free kick. It's given us a Manchester City throw 10 yards away from the corner flag. Guardiola, who made the little slip that led to the Sterling goal. Ball played up towards Haaland. Caicedo stepped in, didn't get him, and so Haaland's given it to Alvarez, who's then given it to Foden, who's on the edge of the area. Alvarez continuing his run, the ball across is slid into the net by Haaland, and Manchester City take the lead again, 3-2 in the second minute of the second half, and Erling Haaland makes it 2 here at Stamford Bridge, 17 for the season. There was a defender there with him, but he ended up in the back of the net with the ball, and it's Chelsea 2, Manchester City 3.
Absolutely ruthless from Manchester City on the counter-attack. It was quick, it was direct. Haaland's initial touch, he drops deep in his own half, gets ahead of the ball in front of Caicedo. Caicedo dives in as the ball gets played from Alvarez through to Phil Foden. He waits for Alvarez to make the overlapping run. Cucurella just gives him too much room. Way too much room. Sanchez gets a touch on the cross, just does not get enough on it to divert it out of the way of Haaland, who slides in and manages to bundle it over.
He's actually slid into the net with the ball between his legs. Defender Reece James is there with him, but he just went to the ground, almost sat on the ball, and it bounced up, and he's carried it with that momentum over the net, over the line, but they're looking at a possible handball.
I didn't see one.
Bounce up and strike his arm as he slid in.
Yeah, on the initial replay, I didn't see one. I mean, if not, he scored with his groin. That's how he scored that ball, because that's the last time it touched him, I think, off his groin.
I suppose the feeling will be that going in, whether it bounced up and struck his arm as it bounced into the net.
No,
well, I'm not seeing
that's
that.
a goal. That's a goal. There's no way that's touched his hand. Nah. There's daylight between his arm and his elbow, the ball and his elbow there.
We are expecting that this will be confirmed as Chelsea 2, Manchester City 3. Players are standing. I've seen something, and the question is whether it actually clipped his elbow before it crosses the line. So Haaland's in the net, and now the question is whether it actually caught his elbow before the whole of the ball crossed the line.
Given.
And the goal is given, the goal stands, which I think is the right decision on the pictures we've seen. Manchester City celebrations in the corner. They were 1-0 up, they were 2-1 down, now they're 3-2 up again, Manchester City.
Yeah, it all started from Haaland. Haaland took the ball deep in his own half, really good touch. Takes Caicedo out of the game, turns, plays it off, and it's Phil Foden then just waits for the overlapping run of Alvarez. Alvarez into the box, good ball across the face of the goal, and Haaland just bundles it in.
Really, I think you can certainly say that Caicedo wasn't strong enough on the halfway line with the challenge on Haaland, but there again, not being strong enough against Haaland. It's easy saying it.
Well, I think he makes the wrong decision. It's not even about the challenge itself. He makes the wrong decision.
However, here's Sterling. His ball into the penalty area, diving header away from Rodri, and then he was fortunate it came back to him, and he was able to get up and stab it away as Chelsea tried to reach it. I'm delighted to say that the second half has started as the first finished.
Yeah, it's been, again, high intensity, both sides really going for it. Obviously, City have taken the lead now. Really good counter-attacking football. And then Chelsea up the other end, trying to react from that falling behind, and very, very close to getting a shot off on goal.
5 Live and the World Service from the BBC. You're on the move on this Sunday afternoon. You can listen to the live radio via BBC Sounds, or indeed go back and listen again, which, the way this match is going, it might be one that you want to listen to again. Manchester City with the ball on the halfway line. On 5 Live at half-time, Robbie Savage said shouldn't have been a penalty to Manchester City. Cucurella was fouled by Haaland before Cucurella fouled Haaland. He also said that if Sanchez doesn't make that save in the first half from Haaland, he doesn't deserve to be in the team. Mark Schwarzer?
Yeah, but I mean, we all know Robbie Savage is the biggest pot stirrer there is, and I've been on a show before with him where he's actually criticised the goalkeeper, go to a break, and then he asked me, is that right? Was I right what I just said there? I've got no idea. You're the goalkeeper, tell me. So what else do I add to that?
Robbie Savage will have his right to reply to the right to reply on 606 later. And the lines are open. You can book your call 08085 909 693 if you're on your way back from one of the earlier matches, or if there's something that you've witnessed this weekend you want to talk about. Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton every Saturday and Sunday evening to talk about the day's football tonight from round about 6:30, and then it'll be Gordon Smart after that. Plenty of his sport in his 5 Live programme as well on a Sunday night. Here's Gvardiol over the halfway line. Gvardiol turns back, gives it infield, and then Rodri to Alvarez, then Diaz on the halfway line. So Manchester City back in front here. If they win this, they will open up a 3-point lead at the top of the Premier League, the clearest lead that they've had yet. Ball across towards the left-hand side to Doku. Doku now, Manchester City looking to open up a 2-goal lead. Doku, low to the edge of the penalty area. Foden lifts it back out to the left-hand side. Bernardo Silva's able to turn it across. headed away on the edge of the 6-yard box by Caicedo. Rodri's in there. Rodri like a battering ram. And then the shot from Alvarez, which is saved to his left by Sanchez. And that was a routine save for Sanchez.
Yeah, it's a really good snapshot there. I mean, it was all from Rodri. Rodri's attempt, the half clearance from Chelsea, Rodri's attempt to get the ball is why they have that chance. He does really well, chests it off. Alvarez on the turn, on the half volley, first time, and Sanchez makes it look easy. And he held, and he held it, and it was a really good save, actually. I mean, it's a good save. He used
Makes it
well.
look like a routine save.
It makes it look like a routine save, Robbie Savage.
Guardiola has been upended by Manchester City, by Caicedo. He actually dispossessed Gallagher. Gallagher came out second best against Guardiola, and then the Croatian has won the free kick. 25 yards out, but it's quite an angle on the left-hand side. Manchester City fans in great voice. Mauricio Pochettino knows Chelsea have been a real challenge to them today, but City now with a 3-2 lead have got their sights set on what would be a 7th win in a row in all competitions. City, they've had a real brains trust over this free kick. As has run away now. Foden runs over the ball. Alvarez plays it in from the angle, but over everyone, whatever colour blue shirt they're in, over everyone and beyond the far post. And behind for a goal kick, Mark Schwarzer.
Yeah, I don't think it quite went to plan there. Alvarez, not sure whether he's overhit the delivery or the runs weren't quite right there. I mean, it was a good ball at the far post. It just wasn't a runner. Everybody else basically took that run to the near post area.
Chelsea playing the ball out from the back. Fernandes to Cucurella, does very well actually. Cucurella then almost loses out. Chelsea, by the skin of their teeth, are able to keep possession. Caicedo gives it to Reece James. James now down the right-hand side. Gallagher on the right wing. He's got some space as well. Sterling gives it back to Gallagher. Gallagher waiting for the run. Palmer makes it into the box, but it goes behind him to James, who's closer to the halfway line, then in field towards Caicedo, and back into the centre circle again to Disasi. Thiago Silva got his name on the score sheet for the first time this season. The veteran, but then was involved. I suppose the argument would be when the penalty was given, it was Thiago Silva who headed it over his own crossbar, but very likely he may have been challenged more effectively by Haaland had it not been for the foul of Cucurella. But as Robbie Savage has said, he suggests that Haaland first fouled Cucurella, which is presumably what Pochettino was complaining about. James playing it in field against Doku, but the referee has brought it back for a free kick to Chelsea inside their own half.
Yeah, you can understand what Anthony Taylor's doing now. I mean, he's trying to play advantage. Chelsea do look to spread the ball out to the right, and it's just the ball isn't quite up to it, doesn't really meet the standards, and Reece James is in a spot of bother, so the referee pulls it back and gives a free kick.
Ball for Caicedo to chase down the right, but Diaz was always the favourite to get that. Came across, slid it out of play for a throw-in to Chelsea, level with the edge of the Manchester City box. So in this second half, Chelsea are attacking towards the Matthew Harding stand to our right on this dry but overcast afternoon in West London. Busy afternoon in London after the ceremony at the Cenotaph early today. London was very busy because of that traffic and the various road closures earlier. Foden fighting for it on the far side, but Chelsea have got it back. Cucurella, and then it's nicked away from Fernandes, and Manchester City, Alvarez into the path of Rodri through the middle. He checks back, and then with his left foot plays it slightly behind Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva quickly to the feet of Doku. Grealish on the bench today. Doku into the penalty area, up against James, going one way then the other, and then going down in the box and throwing himself down in the box. And Anthony Taylor, like a man of business, immediately blows his whistle. He's never been the favourite referee of Chelsea supporters for various things over the years, including the cup final when he sent off Kovacic, but he gets a big cheer there from the home fans because he's shown Doku a yellow card for diving.
I have to say, it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing from Doku there to let himself fall. There was absolutely nothing in it. And he lets himself throw. He actually even asked the referee for a penalty. And Anthony Taylor, straight away, he was having none of it, and rightly so, yellow card.
Chelsea 2, Manchester City 3. Now Palmer takes it over the halfway line and gives it to Sterling. Sterling against Kyle Walker again, running at him. Walker tried to get a foot in, didn't. Sterling got the crossover. Silva, but Ederson was able to dive forwards out of his 6-yard box and gather that ball up. But that's a little win for Raheem Sterling against Kyle Walker.
He's been on his game tonight, Raheem Sterling. He's been a threat all this game so far down the left-hand side. The battle between him and Kyle Walker has been intriguing. It's been a really good one.
There's James. He was caught late by Rodri. Just stabbed it past him. Rodri was already committed. It's just going to be a free kick, no more than that. And it's taken short by Caicedo to Fernandes through the middle, and the Argentine plays it to the edge of the box. But a sliding clearance from Diaz back in position. Now it's Haaland who's got space, and Haaland, it's a low pass to Doku, and Doku now speeding into the penalty area, still going against Disasi, shoots, it's blocked by the goalkeeper. And then it bounces back to him off Thiago Silva, and Sanchez, rather relieved man, able to leap on the ball, sort of blocked it, went down and blocked it with his legs.
Yeah, he did well, because he doesn't see the shot. I mean, Doku does well, he's on the ball, holds his ground, he's waiting for an opportunity to try and find a gap to get the shot away. As he does, he manages to almost go straight through the Chelsea player. Disasi there, straight through him. Sanchez doesn't see it till last second, he just throws his knee down to the ground, and it's a good block.
Grealish is going to come on. Interesting to see if he's going to come on for Doku, who... I mean, he has been yellow carded now.
Yeah, the minute the referee booked him for that dive, I looked down and Pep Guardiola signalled straight away as if he was going to make the change. So I don't know whether he's decided he's going to take Doku off straight away because of that. It looks like he is Doku coming off as well.
Well, you know, the significance of this, Mark, is that Manchester City's next match after the internationals is Liverpool at home. And clearly Pep Guardiola does not want to risk the possible loss of Doku for that match. So if you're Jurgen Klopp watching this, I think you can begin to prepare for Doku playing against you on that Saturday lunchtime.
Do you know, though, can you predict that far ahead with Pep Guardiola?
I've just predicted it.
Yeah, but I mean, with Pep Guardiola, can you do that? Well, absolutely nightmare when it comes to fantasy football selections as well. So how can you predict that?
I've just predicted it. So he's off, Doku's off, and Chelsea are playing the ball out from the back. So Jack Grealish is into the action. Chelsea 2, Manchester City 3. And here is Sterling at the other end now. Sterling likes the look of this. He's warming to the task against Walker. Walker is helped out actually by Rodri, and between the two of them have managed to dispossess Raheem Sterling. And then Foden is fouled by Cucurella. No, he isn't. It's no free kick. Chelsea coming forward. Sterling back to Fernandes, but Diaz is across to motor in and take the ball away and clear it towards the halfway line. But there's a header missed on the halfway line by Thiago Silva, suggesting it might have been shoved over by Haaland. However, Chelsea continue to come forward with Palmer. Palmer now trying to find a way through. Still going, shoots, and it's saved by Ederson, who came out sliding at his feet and managed to get an arm into the way of the shot. And he was almost falling over Palmer, but managed to get an attempt on goal. And a yellow card is being shown in there again as Manchester City win a free kick outside the penalty area.
Yeah, Cole Palmer does remarkably well. Beats 3-4 Manchester City players into the box. See, he starts his run out, he just turned a pace. The first touch is really good. He manages to stay on his feet. And a couple of times he could have easily have gone down. Instead he stays up, tries to get his shot away. Ederson is off his goal line so quickly and closes down the angle and makes a really good block. And then after that, Caicedo just completely dives in. He's caught out because he's out of position. Grealish gets around him with that touch and he brings Grealish down.
So Caicedo becomes the third Chelsea player booked in the match. Palmer and Cucurella in the first half, and Caicedo just now. 3-2 Manchester City lead, 5 live in the World Service. Bernardo Silva does exceptionally well. And then Rodri gives it to Grealish, and Grealish now up to the edge of the penalty area. Grealish right across the box to Foden. Foden's low shot, but too close to Sanchez, who's able to drop down to his right and hold it.
There's another similar move to what Haaland did on that goal, that third goal, just after at the start of this second half. First touch, Caicedo dives in and gets taken out of the game because he's just dives in.
Now it's Chelsea's turn. Sterling making ground through the middle. There's a suggestion he was pulled back. In the end, the ball ran through. City were able to clear. Manchester City come back at Chelsea now. Ball in from the right-hand side. It's beyond Haaland, who's able to allow the ball to run. Pulls it back towards Grealish. And then Grealish back centrally to Rodri. And now to the right corner of the area where Alvarez returns it to the number 16, Rodri. Walker's involved in the action. as well. But Manchester City, the momentum just slows, and actually they allow the ball to come to a complete stop with Kyle Walker and go back into the centre circle. The delivery there from Alvarez across the penalty area. If Haaland had been maybe a couple of yards on, he would have been in for the yet another hat-trick. Already got one this season. Not as many as Harry Kane, of course. He has Diaz just forward of the centre circle. Actually, in that particular battle, Haaland has now got 17. Here's Rodri on the edge of the area, gives it to Haaland, right side of the area, drives it across, but it was caught just in front of his face by Sanchez at the near post, and that comes to nothing for Manchester City. Yeah, Haaland now 17 goals this season, but Harry Kane some distance ahead with 21 for Bayern Munich. Here is Jackson, who is dispossessed on the halfway line. Guardiola, this is too easy for Manchester City against Chelsea there. Now Grealish in the box on the left-hand side. Grealish back to the edge of the area in the D. Alvarez rides one challenge, then scoops it back to Grealish on the left-hand side as Manchester City attack the shed. Grealish with the ball inside the penalty area. James in front of him. He's got Bernardo Silva behind him, and so he just rather casually taps it back to little Bernardo Silva, and then it goes back to Akanji near the centre circle. 3-2 to Manchester City. The space on the right that Foden can find Walker, but he can't. Cucurella, all energy, blocks the attempted ball, and then Walker, I think, just tripped Cucurella. He did. It's a free kick to Chelsea, halfway inside their own half. It's relentless, Mark Schwarzer, this.
It is, yeah, and we just see Kyle Walker there using all his experience. Gives the foul away, doesn't want Chelsea to try and hit them on the counter too quickly. Kyle Walker obviously is out of position if that were to happen, so he'd rather give the foul away.
A couple of interesting changes here. It is Malo Gusto and Mikhailo Mudryk who are coming off. Enzo Fernandez is one and Reece James the other. Now, as previously discussed, as Gareth Southgate was telling us on Thursday, now there is still a concern about Reece James having started now 3 matches in a row, but having missed most of this season, and in his recent injury history, clearly they are taking no chances with him. And with just over an hour gone, Gusto is going to come on, but Mudryk coming on. Now, where's he going to go? Sterling is just pointing into his own chest.
So Mudryk is going over on the left-hand side. Sterling's coming across on the right. And you can see there you've got Gallagher and Caicedo in midfield. You see Ederson's gone down in his own 18-yard box.
Oh, and he's going to need some treatment. Anthony Taylor has gone across to speak to him and immediately waved on the Manchester City medical people. So this is one of those occasions where Manchester City have got 2 substitutes on the bench. Nathan Ake's not involved, picked up an injury in training. And if you weren't listening in the first half, Levi Colwill out for Chelsea today because of a shoulder injury in training. So presumably either Scott Carson or Stefan Ortega. You'd expect that it would Ortega who would be the first cab off the rank, as it were. But whether Ederson's going to be able to continue, and they're looking at they're sort of flexing his left foot. So whether it's an ankle injury, the spray is out. You can see the clouds of spray in the autumn air here at Stamford Bridge. Meanwhile, there are instructions being given to Kyle Walker. In fact, I think he might be getting some strapping. He is. Kyle Walker is getting his hand or his wrist strapped up so that he can continue. I think Ederson's going to be okay, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he maybe have just got the knock on his ankle, maybe twist his ankle a little bit. I can only think maybe when he came out and blocked Cole Palmer's attempt as he was running through. Seems like the only time. I mean, it looks genuinely like he's still rolling back and forth on his sort of down on hands on his knees to see if his ankle's okay.
Lines are open for 606 08 085 909 693. Text 85058. Hashtag BBC 606 on your social media as play resumes. Read all about today's football on the football pages of the BBC Sport website. You can watch the highlights on Match of the Day too. And then the women's football show after that, anytime on iPlayer. And we will have commentary on Sports Extra and the Women's Super League match between Leicester and Arsenal from 6:45. Mudryk into the action for the first time. Across to Gallagher. Shoots. Saved by Ederson. It comes out for Jackson. 3-3 now. And Nicholas Jackson. Hat-trick Monday against Tottenham. Now with the equaliser against Manchester City. Chelsea career is coming to life, and it's Chelsea 3, Manchester City 3.
Yeah, it all comes about because of Conor Gallagher's attempt on from outside the box. He runs onto it and lets loose with a shot. Edison gets behind it, can only parry it back out into the danger zone, and Jackson was the quickest to react. I think Edison possibly could have done a little bit better with that save, but Jackson was really quick on that reaction. There were two Chelsea players there. Either of them could have easily slotted the ball home. There was a danger they may get in each other's way, but it was Jackson quicker to respond.
Well, Manchester City have had their chances and scored a goal in the second half. They've come close to opening a two-goal lead, but now Chelsea have levelled it up in what is a 6-goal thriller now in the rain at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, having watched the replay a couple of times now, Edison, disappointing, very disappointing. Ball's in a comfortable area. He opts to use his fist to try and parry the ball, but he parries it straight back out to the middle of the 18-yard box, and that's where Jackson's the quickest to respond.
Now all square again, but Chelsea coming forward. Grealish with a cross. That struck the arm of Gusto. Well, Bernardo Silva is appealing for that. And let's see if that comes to anything. I mean, he was sliding in, he was on the ground, so I think that's important. You know, whether it's felt that his arm had to be there because of his defensive position. Bernardo Silva trying to put it back from the dead ball line, but it certainly seemed to angle that it struck an outstretched arm. Here's Manchester City again, cross deep to the back post. Haaland gets his head to it, but excellent defensive work from Thiago Silva in there. Under severe pressure in the 6-yard box from Alvarez, and he managed to get a contact on it to knock it up in the air, and it was caught.
Oh, it actually hits him in the head. It's Disassi. Disassi runs across. It was a bit awkward. I wasn't quite sure what part of his body it hit there. It was high up, but you can see as he slides in, he's got his left hand behind his back. His right hand is down by his side, and it hits him in the side of the head. It's a really good block.
Did you see he actually celebrated when he got onto his feet? Disassi, as you correctly say, not Gusto. Disassi actually celebrated. He just punched the air, and when I saw him do that, I thought, I probably didn't hit his arm.
I think he was just more so reacting to the ball hitting him in the head.
Yeah. All right.
Trying to shake himself.
He was all shook up. Chelsea 3, Manchester City 3. And who knows which way this game is going to go. Talk about it on 606 with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. 3-3 the score. What a week for Chelsea. After Monday night, now involved in this. And here's Sterling. Palmer takes it on down the right-hand side. He's got Gusto there with him. Palmer cuts back onto his left foot, and now the Sky Blue are back in position. Rain now continuing to sweep across Stamford Bridge. Back centrally to Thiago Silva. Cucurella over on the left-hand side. Hair bobbing. Don't think he could do anything other than that. Thiago Silva back to Disassi. And Chelsea keeping possession inside their own half. Great noise around the ground. As I said in the first half, it's not often you get an atmosphere like this in the Premier League here at Stamford Bridge. I think that reflects the game that we've seen here today. And the Chelsea fans think that they might be able to force a win out of this. Here is Gusto down the right-hand side. Sterling makes himself available. Now Sterling, with Mudryk having come on. Sterling more towards the right-hand side. Chelsea, Gallagher, who's quietly had a very good game again. Gallagher has become an absolute regular for Chelsea, when it seemed at one stage perhaps his future might be elsewhere. And now Palmer up to the edge of the area, but Akanji just got a touch on that, foot in on it. And then Jack Grealish plays it back to Edison, who clears through the middle along the ground. Edison, who conceded that goal just shortly after receiving treatment, remember. But Alvarez bringing it through the middle for Manchester City. Foden back to Alvarez, right side of the box. His cross is blocked by Thiago Silva, who had his hands crossed behind his back, so no question of a handball there. And it bounces out of play via a final touch off the Manchester City man, and it's a goal kick to Chelsea. 3-3 the score, Mark Schwarzer.
You did say that was going to be more goals, didn't you, at 2-1? I thought maybe you would have put the mockers on this game, but no. You're right. No, it's been a great game, and it's continued the second half. The intensity levels again are high. Both sides have been on the front foot, have worked very hard, tried to close each other down in various positions, put them under pressure. And it just seems like Chelsea at the moment are just on a little bit of the up.
Rodri leaning, or more than leaning. He's all over the back of Palmer, who then goes to ground as he crosses the halfway line. And it's a yellow card for Manchester City's linchpin. So that is now 2 yellow cards for Manchester City in the match. Free kick Chelsea.
Yeah,
no arguments with that one.
No, absolutely not. I mean, he knew he was beaten. He was on the wrong side of Cole Palmer, and if he lets him go, it's a break for Chelsea. So he has to bring him down.
3-3. And Chelsea, you can see the confidence flooding back, can't you, with this recent run that they've been on, and what happened at Tottenham on Monday.
You said about the atmosphere, that
this match. Well, a little bit more than that. We're in the 83rd minute. Volleyed forward by Cucurella towards Jackson on the halfway line. Nicholas Jackson just got his 7th goal for Chelsea with the equaliser. And then Chelsea win a free kick. Cucurella impeded on the far side, so it's a free kick 10 yards inside their own half.
There's a high boot from Bernardo Silva. Cucurella goes with his head there, and they do retain possession, but obviously Anthony Taylor believes that it wasn't enough of an advantage.
So the rain is so heavy that somebody's produced a towel, a white towel for Mauricio Pochettino, who's rubbing his hair as though he's just got out of the shower. Here is Sanchez on the edge of his own penalty area. Disasi gives it back to the Chelsea goalkeeper. Made a very good save from Haaland in the first half. Haaland, 2 goals today, the first from the penalty spot. Akanji scored just before half-time. Long ball downfield, but Sterling in an offside position against Gvardiol, so it's free kick to Manchester City. Thiago Silva, Sterling and Jackson, the Chelsea goal scorers. City forward towards Kovacic, who does well, turns Caicedo, then gets away as well from Sterling, now finds Grealish into the penalty area against Gusto. Gusto got a little touch on the ball to take it away from Grealish, but he's back with it between his feet again. Grealish then beats Gusto, clips it across right-footed over the top of Haaland at the back post, who lands on his back with his feet in the air.
Yeah, slightly overhit there from Jack Grealish. I mean, it was the moment where you thought this was his moment in the game. He hasn't really shown much so far. He's been in some decent positions, lost the ball a couple of times, but that was the one where he looked like he found himself a bit of space, whips that cross in and just overhits it.
Over the course of the next week and a half or so, 5 Live, the place to listen to England's internationals, the final 2 qualifiers against Malta on Friday, North Macedonia in Monday, when we'll be in Skopje with them, but other commentaries as well, including the Wales all-important game against Armenia. Here is Grealish on the left-hand side. Grealish angling the ball down the line. Akanji is onto this. Akanji back towards Grealish again. Gvardiol makes a run into the box, but Grealish has Gusto right in front of him. Back to Kovacic. Kovacic with his sky blue shirt just flopping outside his shorts. Back centrally, Walker. Now to the right-hand side to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva to Foden. Cucurella on the balls of his feet against Foden. So back it goes to Walker. Foden again, less than 5 minutes to go. Some people are leaving. Can't believe it. As the ball's played infield, Foden across. Kovacic for the first time touch. Haaland back to Kovacic. His shot is blocked on the edge of the area. Rodri deflects it in! 4-3 Manchester City! And it's the man who scored the goal in the Champions League final, who might just have settled this minor classic in the Premier League. Massive deflection, but Rodri strike, and it's Chelsea 3, Manchester City 4.
Yeah, Rodri was the quickest to react as the ball pops out of the in-yard box, has a go from distance, gets very, very lucky. Couple of deflections and in the back of the net. Sanchez going the wrong way, but it was just about the consistent pressure there. Kovacic has his first shot blocked. Chelsea think they've got rid of the danger. I think the first deflection comes off Gallagher, then the second off Thiago Silva. Oh, so unlucky. Silva tries to make the block, comes off his boot, and flies in the opposite corner to where Sanchez is.
So the pressure has told, and Manchester City in front again. And time now running out on Chelsea. We're in the 87th minute now, and you do wonder after this ding-dong match whether Chelsea can possibly make it 4-4. You wouldn't absolutely rule it out, but Rodri there, great celebrations, the character of this team. Grealish playing it forward, took a deflection off Bernardo Silva all the way through to Robert Sanchez. They're unfortunate. The shot from Rodri, what was he, 22, 23 yards out, hit it with great power. You know, he's such a powerful man. When he strikes the ball, as they say, it stays hit. And it took initial flick off Gallagher, then a big deflection off Thiago Silva, which completely wrong-footed Sanchez, the ball flying into the net to his right.
Yeah, it goes actually through Gallagher's legs as well, so it makes it really tough for Silva. Silva's just trying to make a block. Ball's coming in his area, sticks his right leg out, and unfortunately for him and his teammates, it flies off his boot. goes in the opposite corner to where Sanchez is diving. And City have got a bit of luck.
Chelsea 3, Manchester City 4. I hope you've enjoyed it with us on 5 Live or the World Service, wherever you're listening to us around the world. Manchester City on course to make it 7 wins out of 7 against Chelsea since that famous victory for Chelsea under Thomas Tuchel in the Champions League final in Porto. And Mauricio Pochettino just giving some final instructions down there to Armando Broja, who's coming back from a knee injury, the big Albanian international, just going to send him on for the final moments of this game to try and squeeze a point out of this match. Chelsea facing what would be their 4th home defeat in the Premier League this season. But I think it's fair to say that there's no disgrace in this defeat against... I mean, Chelsea have been very much in the mood, this improving Chelsea team, but Manchester City in the mood as well, as Grealish is tripped by Gallagher halfway inside his own half.
Yeah, no, City have been at times, you know, they've been put under so much pressure from Chelsea. Chelsea have done really well. They've hustled them all game. They've put under so much pressure. They've won possession in the good areas. They've taken their chances. And City, though, whenever they're in a goal-scoring position, they're so difficult to prevent from finding the back of the net. They're so good. There's so much quality all over the pitch. And on top of it, when they get a bit of luck from a big deflection at the edge of the box, so tough to stop.
So Broja is on. Caicedo's off from midfield. Caicedo makes way. So Broja and Jackson up front together. Let's see if there's time for it to take effect. We are in the 90th minute. Cucurella does well. Nips in ahead of Bernardo Silva. That looked like a foul on Gallagher. It is. It's a free kick to Chelsea inside their own half. Haaland just stands in front of the ball, but Cucurella takes the free kick past him. Just keep an eye on the 4th official. Craig Pawson will have the board very shortly. Here he comes now, appearing from underneath the top of the stand down in front of us. Just runs his fingers through his hair in this late afternoon rain. Gusto playing it back. 8 minutes of added time. Plenty of time then is the answer to the question. For Chelsea perhaps to make it 4-4. But they've got the ball inside their own half. Haaland leaning in and committing the foul. Free kick from Thiago Silva. He takes it, gets it back from Gallagher. Now Cole Palmer to the halfway line, but then checks his run. Gives it to Sterling on the right-hand side. That would be certainly a talking point for 606 with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton on 5 Live, whether Sterling should be drafted in with all of these withdrawals from the England squad. 08085 909 693. Excellent from City. Bernardo Silva. Grealish is upended there as he tried to burst through. It's a free kick, and Conor Gallagher did wonder whether that would be a yellow card. He's been involved in a number of challenges, Gallagher, but no. Free kick to Manchester City. That's all.
Baffling why that's not a yellow card. It's not a bad challenge. It's just it is a yellow card. I mean, I know Grealish. Anthony Taylor's pointed towards where Grealish has touched where the ball ended up. That's beside the point. I mean, it's a blatant foul.
Chelsea with the ball inside their own half. Gallagher turns. So we're into 8 minutes of added time. Actually, we're already in the 2nd minute of that. Cucurella to Palmer. Chelsea have no time to waste here. Those clouds of rain continue to sweep across. Disasi through the middle. Sterling now has found some space. Sterling clips it into the middle. Broja takes it down. Broja is brought down. Diaz for the challenge. Penalty. Anthony Taylor. Decisive. Immediately. Outstretched arm. Pointing to the spot. Broja did very well there. Controlled it. And Diaz was committed. And as he slid in, down went Broja. And Chelsea can make it 4-4.
They can. Broja's touch is brilliant. Off his thigh. He waits for the ball to bounce a bit. Yeah, it's definitely a penalty.
And who is Chelsea's penalty taker this season? None other than Cole Palmer, signed just a matter of weeks ago from Manchester City.
Yeah, I think Ruben Diaz, whenever you go to grounds, it's wet. You're going to slide unless you get the ball.
It's a clear penalty, but it's an easy decision for Anthony Taylor. I don't know why there's arguments going on. Obviously just trying to put the kicker off potentially.
Well, they're all gathered around the penalty spot as well. So I think Chelsea are trying to protect the penalty spot, which I think was already scuffed up in the first half. And now we've got almost the whole Manchester City team involved there. And clearly they know that VAR will be having a look at this, but this would be a major shock if VAR said that wasn't a penalty. So it kind of makes you wonder what on earth is the delay. Anthony Taylor's trying to force the issue, but I think you're right, Mark. I think they all know that Cole Palmer is the man who's going to take this. The young man, 21 years old, you know, try and pile the pressure on by making him have to wait. And still, the City players are not outside of the penalty area. All gathered around. There's a yellow card being shown to at least a couple of players. I think Grealish was one of them.
Yeah, I think is it Kyle Walker arguing, trying to work out who that is there. There's someone very, very angry there.
Ederson has got involved in this now as well, so whether something's been said, you're right. Kyle Walker's angry. Diaz is now standing between him. Kyle Walker is walking across. Ederson's got to get back onto his line. All the while, Cole Palmer has just stood with the yellow ball tucked underneath one arm and is waiting for his moment here. The pressure absolutely piled on this young man to make it 4-4, to peg back Manchester City. It's in front of the Matthew Harding stand. Finally, the players are beginning to move towards the edge of the tee. What a great moment of drama this is in the 4th minute now of added time at the end of this thrilling Premier League match. This to make it 4-4. Cole Palmer. He's had 3 penalties for Chelsea so far. He's scored from all 3. On his left foot, his old teammate Ederson on the line. They know each other so well. How many penalties must he taken against them in training? Well, now is his moment. Cole Palmer steps forward, left foot high into the Manchester City net. He stood up to the pressure. Cole Palmer, and it's 4-4 at Stamford Bridge. What a match! What a comeback! What a day! And the Chelsea flags are flying. Chelsea 4, Manchester City 4.
What an excellent penalty from Cole Palmer. Under huge amount of pressure, gets his old team to equalise for his new team against Ederson, who knows all about him, and he plants it into the back of the net. What a very good penalty. No chance for Ederson.
Well, he went the right way. Ederson dived to his right, but with his left foot, he managed to hit it with power. What, about 3/4 of the way up the goal? So beyond and above the dive of Ederson, and it is 4-4.
Well, I was worried, you know, I was thinking about when Chelsea actually fell behind. It was like a really unfortunate goal to go behind with to make it 4-3. I felt that would have been really harsh for them to have lost this game. Because I don't think either side deserves to lose this game, because they've both been excellent.
Chelsea make another change there, and it's Jackson coming off. So now, having brought on Breuer, and what a move that was by Pochettino, incidentally, to bring on the 2 men up front, or Breuer to play alongside Jackson, and with the equaliser having been secured, Leslie Ukachukwu, the teenager, has come on to replace Jackson. So Jackson is off, and Ukachukwu is on, and it's 4-4. And now Chelsea are actually thinking they might time, so still plenty of time to play, and Chelsea have lost it on the halfway line. Now here's Foden who was crunched into by Sterling, who slid in. That's a yellow card. Now again the players are surrounding the referee, and Foden, who was down. That was a bad challenge from Sterling. Yellow card. Free kick though to Manchester City, less than 25 yards out centrally.
Yeah, it is a hard challenge. It's a big challenge. I mean, he's late, he's lucky, I think.
Is that
Phil Foden goes down? I mean,
could that be a red card?
I don't think so. I don't think so. He's just completely mistimed. And Foden is up in the air slightly. I think he's just, he does get him, but I think he's just lifting up out of the air, up in the air. That prevents anything seriously happening to Phil Foden. It's a really, late and mistimed challenge from Sterling.
So who's going to take this? Any number of potential contenders. Manchester City have got 5 players around. Well, Cole Palmer City players are having a conversation. Cole Palmer got involved in it with his old teammates, and Haaland actually went to him, pushed him away from it, said, "You're not with us anymore, sunshine." Free kick. Bernardo Silva, Foden, Grealish or Walker. Well, Kyle Walker's placing it, unless they've got something planned here. Now a little touch. Foden standing to the right of the ball. Grealish kind of looks the favourite. Or is it Walker who's going to have a crack? Well, here's the free kick. Walker does hit it over the wall, but over the bar as well. Chelsea cheers, Chelsea relief. Goal kick. It remains 4-4.
Yeah, it was a little bit wasted there from Kyle Walker. I actually thought he was going to aim for the gap in the wall where he's got two Manchester City players standing there blocking Robert Sanchez's view. Hit it with power. It's wet. Anything can happen. Sanchez deal with it. Try and get a follow up. Instead, he goes for over the wall and just can't get it down enough.
Well, we've had our 8 minutes, Mark. We've seen 8 goals. We're in the 9th minute of added time. There's the goal kick downfield by Sanchez. No final whistle yet. And while we're waiting for the penalty, of course, that took any amount of time. So Anthony Taylor could add on a couple of minutes, really, here.
Yeah, I think it was probably at least 2 minutes for that penalty.
Had to be.
Bit of melee of players arguing. Yellow cards being given out.
But in the main, I would say this has been a very positive afternoon again for Pochettino and Chelsea, even though they've not been able to win here at Stamford Bridge. But they have given as good as they've got from Manchester City. And the way that the match has toed and froed, 1-0 Manchester City, then it went 2-1 Chelsea, then 3-2 Manchester City. It went 3-3, then 4-3 Manchester City. And then finally, I think, 4-4. Cucurella dives into this. Thiago Silva passes it for the halfway line. Palmer, Cucurella, then Mudryk, and then in the challenge from Walker. There might be time for one more attack. Chelsea fan in front of me can't look. He's pulled his snoot up over his head. Get it down because Chelsea are on the attack. Sterling through the middle. Kovacic with a challenge on him. Manchester City have got it back. Kovacic now in centre field against the newly arrived Ugachukwu. Manchester City have found Foden. Good challenge by Cucurella. And that's it. That is it. The final action. What an afternoon we've all enjoyed inside Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 4, Manchester City 4. Mark Schwarzer picked the bones out of that.
We haven't got enough time. I mean, that was just an amazing game of football. I mean, from the start of the game, the intensity, the commitment from both sides. Chelsea, very, very good off the back of, obviously at home not being great this season, inconsistent throughout the last 12 months. Today was a fantastic performance against obviously one of the best, if not the best team in the world at the moment in Manchester City. What a game of football.
Well, it's the end of Manchester City's recent winning run. First time they've dropped points in the Premier League since they lost at Arsenal early last month. First win, first draw in the Premier League this season. But really, all that, you can read about that later in the morning. It's just really a celebration of a cracking football match.
It is, yeah. Now, I mean, Chelsea have obviously been involved in 2 remarkable games of football in the last 2 games in the Premier League. This one, for all the right reasons in terms of football, not red cards involved. I mean, yeah, there's a question on whether or not there should have been a penalty against for Haaland. But I think the way that both sides have responded, the way the teams have played this game, has been outstanding, and what a great entertaining game of football and a great advert for football.
Yeah, and I think over the years, with all of the managers that Chelsea have had, the Chelsea fans are always so keen to point out what they want. They want to win the trophies, but they want thrills and spills as well. Well, it looks as though Mauricio Pochettino is bringing the thrills and spills back, as Anthony Taylor, who, as I say, is never the favourite here at Stamford Bridge, is being booed off the field. But whether the trophies will follow, we'll see. But what an afternoon, what a week for Chelsea. Final score here today, Chelsea 4, Manchester City 4.
Bonkers, breathless and brilliant, Mark Schwarzer. That is an instant Premier League classic.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. I mean, it's going to be one of those games of where you talk about in the future and say, where were you? Were you at Stamford Bridge when you saw that game? Where were you? Who were you watching it with? And that was an amazing game of football. Loved every minute of it. It was, breathtaking, and it was great. Actually, in the end, look, as a more of a Chelsea fan, you would want them to win, of course, but I think it's a fair result. It's a great game to watch. It's entertaining. 4-4. I mean, it's absolutely brilliant.
Well, we know where Cole Palmer was. He was standing on the penalty spot, waiting for a good 5 minutes to take an absolutely massive kick of a football, and that was some coolness he showed.
Yeah, no, he was excellent all night. And then to step up, I mean, it was his moment, wasn't it? You could see the headlines, if he misses it. You see the headlines if he scores it. And, I mean, it just takes some bravado to step up there. Confidence, self-belief to step up there in that moment, even though he has been taking penalties for Chelsea this season. But to back it up, I mean, it was a really good penalty under extreme pressure.
Top of the Premier League table then looks like this. Manchester City top 28 points, Liverpool 27, Arsenal 27, Tottenham 26 and Aston Villa 25, all after 12 games, John Murray, as we head into the international break. What a start to this season.
Yeah, and Chelsea might have just done the rest of them a favour with that Cole Palmer penalty, because if Manchester City had prevailed and won this and opened up a 3-point lead, I know what the narrative would have been. Their clearest lead at the top of the Premier League so far this season. Are they now just too good for the rest? Are they about to go away? And yes, they've still got the lead. They're still at the top of the tree.
All I say as well, it's changed a little bit of attack there, is that I was just watching Raheem Sterling come off the pitch. What does he have to do to get in the England side? I mean, he's one of the most informed wide players in the country at the moment, and he was outstanding again tonight.
And Gareth Southgate said that the reason that he has not yet returned to the England squad is that there were others ahead of him in the pecking order. But James Maddison's going to be pulled out of the squad. Looks like Jude Bellingham as well, Carlo Ancelotti said. So is that the way back, or is it a win for Cole Palmer perhaps?
Could be. Raheem Sterling, shirtless, soaked in the London rain, has just walked off the pitch. John Murray, Mark Schwarzer, thank you both very much indeed. What a game. Chelsea 4, Manchester City 4. 08085 909 693. Get your calls in now. 606 with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton is on the way on 5 Live after the news with Stuart Clarkson.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, has described some of the chanting at yesterday's pro-Palestinian march as sick, inflammatory and clearly criminal, saying it can't go on. Labour's blamed her for inflaming tensions and say she should be sacked. 7 people have been charged with various offences after 145 arrests in central London yesterday. The Palestinian Red Crescent says Al-Quds Hospital in northern Gaza has had to close its doors to patients because it has no power. Doctors at the Al-Shifa Hospital, the biggest in Gaza, have described it as a war zone there. They say the remaining patients, including a number of premature babies, are in danger. The NHS Health Board in Greater Glasgow and Clyde's been named as a suspect in the corporate homicide investigation of the deaths of 3 children and an adult. A criminal probe began in 2021 into the deaths at Glasgow's Queen Elizabeth University Hospital. And a 2-minute silence was held across the UK earlier to mark Remembrance Sunday. The King led the national service at the Cenotaph in central London this morning.
How do you find a child within one of the most dangerous places on earth?
Well, I just want him back home.
My name is Poonam Taneja, and I'm going to Syria to search for a missing boy in the ruins of the so-called Islamic State.
That's no place for them kids to grow up. My fear is that leaving them there will only create a bigger problem for this world.
What I find will take me inside the heart of IS's failed caliphate.
We're going to be stuck here forever. It's a nightmare.
Bloodlines. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Are you ready to have your say? In the UK's biggest football debate, your teams, your views. Get ready. This is 606 with Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage on 5 Live.
It's time for you to have your say about your team. It's 606 as Chelsea and Man City play out a barnstormer at the bridge.
Now is his moment. Cole Palmer steps forward, left foot high into the Manchester City net. He stood up to the pressure. Cole Palmer. And it's 4-4 at Stamford Bridge.
What a match, what a comeback, what a day, Christopher, and what a game it was.
Yeah, brilliant game of football, Rob. Chelsea improving under Pochettino. You can see they're a bit of a slow burner, but the Chelsea development squad, give them a year or two, they'll be challenging for a title. But Manchester City, is that 2 points dropped, Rob? I think it is.
Chelsea and Man City fans, the number to call is 08285 909 693. Earlier, Liverpool moved level on points with Arsenal as their Egyptian king hit this milestone.
Salah's onside, heads it in, the flag stays down. Salah scored again, his 200th goal in English football. What a fabulous career he has had here at Liverpool.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live. Call free 08085 909 693. Text 85058. Text will be charged at your standard message rate. Plus, see our privacy notice. bbc.co.uk/5live.
So Salah scored his 200th goal in English football. 2 questions, Christopher. Since Salah arrived at Anfield on the 22nd of June 2017, has he been the best player in the Premier League? And secondly, are Liverpool City's biggest challenges?
Oh, good question. The second part of that question, are Liverpool the biggest challengers? Absolutely. Well, there's 2 points between the top 4 now. I mean, who would we have in there, Rob? We'd have Arsenal, Liverpool, Tottenham Hotspur. Are they title challengers? And is Mo Salah the best since 2017? I think he is, Rob. Think about
Salah's the best player in the Premier League since 2017.
Yeah, I think De Bruyne, Haaland's not been in long enough. Consistency levels, it has to be the Egyptian king, doesn't it?
08085 909 693 is the number to call. Wins for Villa and West Ham. Also, Sheffield United fans, you got your first away point of the season at Brighton, and they're off the bottom of the table. Celtic and Rangers both won in Scotland. In the WSL, as shock as Brighton won 1-0 at Man City. Who else should hear from, Christopher?
Oh, I want to hear from Aston Villa fans. They're in there, Rob, aren't they? Stephen Warnock, I mean, he said that the possibility of getting a top 4 spot. I mean, they are absolutely flying. Are you in the top 4 mix, Aston Villa fans? Can you believe you are?
Here's one for you, Christopher, just before we go to the calls. Right now, who's in the best position as a club, Chelsea or Manchester United? So would you rather be in that Chelsea dressing room going forward, or Manchester United dressing room?
Much rather be in the Chelsea dressing room than Manchester United at this moment in time. You'll say to me, well, Manchester United are higher in the table. Somebody said today Manchester United are the form team in the Premier League over the last however many games, but not performance-wise. You know the wheels are going to come off again this season at Manchester United. Chelsea are building in the right direction. They're a slow burner, but you can see them coming good under Poch, Rob.
Whoever your club, we're here until just before 8 p.m. and the number to call is 08085 909 693. Right, let's go straight to those calls, Christopher. Ami, a Liverpool fan, how are you?
I'm okay, chaps. I'm a bit annoyed with Anthony Taylor, but if I start off with the reason I'm calling is that the next game when we come back is 12:30 on Saturday. It's Manchester City Liverpool.
Cool.
In the interim period, there are going to be internationals, and Alisson, Edison, Alvarez, Diaz, and these guys, McAllister, are going to be going over for Argentina, Brazil, and games like that. We're already at a disadvantage because we've got more players going over here. This is not a moment. This shows how hard it is to track down Man City. They have more money. They have a player like De Bruyne out who's world class, and they don't play Phillips, so they have these advantages. Liverpool were fantastic today with the limited squad. I thought Simicast, the way that he went to the left and provided width, and the strikers were great. But I've got to say that I think Alisson's the best goalkeeper I have ever seen in my time. The one-handed save he made from how desperate he is to keep a clean sheet. Edison made a bad mistake today when he pushed it out. I'm hoping that the difference will be those 2 guys when we come back for the football, and there won't be bad VAR decisions, because I'm getting a bit sick and tired of Man City getting the benefit of these strange decisions.
What strange decision are you talking about, or decisions?
Haaland was a dive. That
Ridiculous.
was a dive.
That's ridiculous.
If penalty, you'd have 5 or 6 penalties per game. Had he not given it, I don't think they would have overturned it.
Why aren't you phoning up and lambasting Cucurella for being stupid?
But he grabbed him first. These things happen in the penalty box, though, Chris. But Haaland grabbed him
not
first.
enough. Not enough. The first
you
one.
don't think Haaland dived?
I tell you what, Haaland did. He played Cucurella brilliantly, didn't he?
Chris, okay then, because I'll be the neutral in this one. So Army, I'm with you. So Chris, right, you were a centre forward, Chris, right? You're looking to gain an advantage on your defender. So as the ball comes in, Chris, the first action from Haaland was to pull Cucurella back. He did it. That was the first offence, Chris.
Little subtle one, yeah.
No, Chris, he did it, and it was subtle from Cucurella.
Chris, it wasn't subtle.
But because the referee...
Cucurella was as subtle as a brick.
But because the referee gave the penalty, obviously, because it was not a clear novice error, but I think it is a clear novice error.
No, it's not.
Haaland pulls him back, Chris, first. He does.
Twice the size of Cucurella.
Robbie.
He does, Chris.
Twice the size of Cucurella. There was no way he was going to go down. He dived. He wasn't going to get near the ball, and he dived. And the thing is, they got advertising decisions a couple of seasons ago with the armpits with Rodri, and they didn't, and Wolves, and nothing's mentioned about it. And look at Arsenal. Look at the decision that Arsenal get. Now, I'm not going to say...
So Liverpool are just hard done by, are they, all the time?
No, it's not hard done by, Chris. I'm talking about things I've seen. Anthony Taylor, I don't know how he gets these high-profile games. It was shocking for Tottenham against Liverpool. It wasn't just a Diaz. He pulled back Salah. It just makes these silly... Why did he give it? If you're not sure, leave it.
He was sure. He was sure, and that's the whole thing. This is it's interesting, and do you know what? You have an argument, and I respect your argument. These are subjective calls. I don't think that. I really don't think that is a terrible mistake. I thought it was a penalty, honestly.
In the second half, he booked Doku for fouling. I've never seen them book Doku book players for fouling. I think he looked at it half time and thought, oh, hang on, I'll kind of make it look better by booking Doku for fouling. Something like that should be left, so that the VAR can look at it. Just like if let it play out, be 100% sure. If you look at the cricket, they have umpires call. They leave it. If they're not sure, they leave it so that the technology helps them out rather than making him press. Did he not see Cucurella? There was a lot of moving parts. I think it was a dive. I really do.
Ami, thank you. Thank you for starting off 606. So, Chris, listen. So you've watched the game and you've watched the decision. So Haaland does pull Cucurella. You can see the body motion of Cucurella goes towards Haaland, and then he gets that little yard. Then Cucurella brings him over. So I'm with you in that sense. But surely the first foul committed, if VAR look at it,
come on,
it was, Chris. It was. It is.
He played him brilliantly, didn't he?
Is he allowed to pull somebody's shirt to get an advantage?
It was hardly a big pull.
Let me ask you a question. Did Haaland gain an advantage by pulling Cucurella's shirt first?
Well, he gained an advantage.
There you go. Thank you very much.
Hang on a minute. Let me finish. No, let me finish because Cucurella was
Greg,
really
how are you,
stupid
Greg?
straight off.
How are you, Greg? Villafan. Thank you very much.
Hello, Greg.
How are you, Greg?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good. Even better now. Thanks, Greg.
So come on, Greg. Tell us about your team.
I'm here to talk about Unai. Well, I've been to Villa Park today, and it was another. And I'm just going to throw it out there because it's not something that I've ever really known in my time as a Villa fan, but a routine home win, which this is how it's going these days under Unai Emery. It's now 13 wins in a row at home in the league, which is a record, or a joint record, and it's really strange for us because I've been a season ticket holder for 10 years, and I live just outside Newcastle, so I'm travelling down 200 miles, and I've known full well at times when I've been travelling down that we're just going to lose. Now I'm travelling down knowing full well we're going to win. We're playing a Fulham team who I've watched a few times this season, and I knew they didn't have the quality to beat us. Despite us losing to Forest last week, we are a bit different away from home, but I think we've got a manager who just knows how to beat teams, and the players are doing that. But I think a special shout out goes to John McGinn, who has
Hello guys, yeah, this is your boy Sam. You're welcome to the channel, and I'm so happy to see Chelsea still at a point from Manchester City. We all know that a lot of people would think that Chelsea were going to lose this game because of the current form of Manchester City and the current form of Chelsea. Guys, this is a two huge game for Chelsea and a two big result for Chelsea. First of all, we beat Tottenham by 4-1, and now we have a 4-4 draw with Manchester City. Guys, is this the Chelsea we all want to see? I believe that this is the Chelsea that every Chelsea fans wants to see, because Chelsea Football Club is building a huge team. Guys, I can say we have the new Avengers, the new Premier League Avengers, because Chelsea are building a big team and a huge football club. Guys, we know, being a Chelsea fans, we want to see Chelsea in the top of the Premier League. But guys, we don't have to be rushed. We just have to take things slowly, because we have seen Chelsea in a bad result, and now two important match and two big results. Guys, we know we're supposed to win the game today, but due to the circumstances that Chelsea have a young team and a new coach and a lot of players, they are having their first season in Chelsea Football Club. They are having their first season with Mauricio Pochettino. Guys, this is a massive result for Chelsea Football Club, and this is a massive result for we Chelsea fans, because we all know that every bookmaker in this world will give Man City to win, and Chelsea fans and Chelsea team prove everybody wrong by a goal, by winning this game. Guys, this is a huge game for Chelsea Football Club. This is a big game and a big result, because I was watching the ESPN program a day ago. I see everyone give City to beat Chelsea like 3-1 or 3-0 or 4-0, Haaland hat-trick. But guys, this Chelsea team of today, I believe we are ready to face anybody, and we are ready to challenge for the Premier League. And I believe Chelsea Football Club will finish in the top 4. And if you remember, when last week or early this week, I said about Chelsea versus Tottenham, I make the prediction. I said Chelsea can have a win, because Chelsea is a team with a young players and a team that wants to challenge for Premier League title, and a team that they are still pushing forward to be themselves. And now they have that experience. They have that. They now understand themselves very well. Look at Cucurella playing 100% fit. Look at Raheem Sterling. This is one of the best games for Raheem Sterling, because Sterling is a player that whenever I see him play, it looks so sluggish to me. But this game, I can say, Sterling, you have my 100% vote, because it's a Cucurella and Raheem Sterling. They are a good team, and they are good teammates, and they are good players. Guys, this is the best game I see Raheem Sterling play, being with the England squad or when it was in Man City. But this game today against Manchester City, this is the wonderful game for Raheem Sterling. And with James, a good captain for Chelsea Football Club, and a good, he has made himself one of the best, because I see his leadership in the game, in the pitch, and he proved himself to be truly a leader. And what a leader! What a leader is James. What a leader. Guys, Rhys James made the team perfectly strong, and made the team also trying to communicate with other players and trying to meet other teammates. Guys, this is the perfect Chelsea we are all waiting for. Guys, I can see we have 23 people watching this video. Please, if you are not yet, like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button, because we have to reach 100,000 followers. So just smash the subscribe button. It won't take you much. To me, it's a big favor. So smash the subscribe button to follow more Chelsea news and more Chelsea content. So as the debate still go on, as the match just finished, we know that a lot of people will be so disappointed, because I know people would think that Chelsea are going to lose, but no, Chelsea win. Chelsea have a draw and a huge point for Chelsea Football Club. It has been a long time I will see Chelsea at home performing high standard, high quality like this. But this today is the perfect Chelsea we want to see, and I believe Chelsea next game, Chelsea are going to look to win, and also to have a point. I believe our next game is against Newcastle. I see Chelsea to win against Newcastle. I see Chelsea to take all 3 points because we have all big match, all huge match, two hard. We have Newcastle with our next match. Also, we have Brighton, our upcoming match, and also we have to play Manchester United. Guys, I really want Chelsea to win against Manchester United because that is the kind of winning we want to see. Because Manchester United, Chelsea, no, I want Chelsea to win just because of my man, guys. I don't know if you remember the Messi incident. He wants to leave Chelsea. He need a huge amount paying. A lot of people talking shit about Chelsea Football Club. Yeah, Chelsea Football Club we spend more than half a billion pounds, but still we didn't qualify for European football, guys. But this Chelsea team I just saw today, I believe they are ready to face anybody and they are ready for any challenge. And this is the perfect Chelsea team I want to see every day. This is the reason why I support Chelsea Football Club, because they are 100% there. They are 100% wants to see what is going on and what is coming in, and they are 100% fit to see everything, guys. This is a perfect Chelsea team. This is a team that we all want to see. This is a result that we all want to see, guys. What a perfect performance for Chelsea Football Club, and a great one for that matter. It's not just a result against Brighton or a result against anyone, but a result against Manchester City, guys. And we all know that Manchester City this season, they only have 1 defeat and 1 draw. But guys, Chelsea made it possible and other draw for them. Guys, I want to see Chelsea in the top 4. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I see we have 44 people watching this live. So guys, just smash the subscribe button, like this video. We have to have more likes so that we can reach more Chelsea fans. So like this video if you are not yet. Please smash the like button and the subscribe button. Guys, this is a huge result for Chelsea Football Club, and I'm so happy. I don't know how to express my happiness in this result, because a lot of my guys, a lot of friends that I have around, that they are not Chelsea fans, like Liverpool fans, City fans, all of them said Chelsea will lose by 4 goals. A lot of shit from people about guys, but Chelsea made everyone feel surprised because of this result, and I believe that this is the perfect Chelsea we want to see. This is the perfect result we want from Chelsea Football Club, guys. This one is the perfect Chelsea we want to see. This is the Chelsea every Chelsea fans we love to see. And paying a ticket to watch Chelsea match, being in the stadium watching Chelsea match, I think you see Chelsea playing like this. Yeah, you said, yeah, if I spend $50 for a ticket, it's worth it, because this is what I want to see. This is what I want to see for my team. This is the Chelsea that I pay $50 to go and watch. Guys, what a player, what a young stars Chelsea have now. This Chelsea team can challenge any team in the world, and we are building the best team in the world. I believe so. I believe that Chelsea are building the best team in the world. Just let me know. Guys, you can also communicate in the comment section. You can also communicate by leaving your thoughts in the comment section down below. And please don't forget to smash the subscribe button if you are not yet subscribed. Like this video, please. If you are not yet subscribe and like, please do that as we continue to praise the players, guys. I don't know the perfect word to use for these Chelsea players, because they are putting a huge smile in our face. They are putting a huge smile. Now I'm so happy. trust me, I can go to bed this night happy, sharing a lot of smile because when Chelsea Football Club have a good result, have a good performance, I'm so happy. I'm so happy for everything, and that makes it easy for me to sleep. I think I will have a nice sleep this night because Chelsea having a good result. This is a massive one for Chelsea Football Club. This is a massive one for the players, and I believe that I told you when Chelsea win Tottenham by 4-1. I told you that that result will give Chelsea players a big confidence to face Manchester City, and that is the thing because Chelsea players face Manchester City with huge confidence that they are going to have a good result, and that is what we want to see for the player. That is the spirit. That is what we want to see for Chelsea Football Club. That is what we want to see for any player that play under Chelsea, that is a Chelsea player. Who wants to see that result? Who wants to see them challenging for titles? Who wants to see that self-confidence from our team? And that is the perfect confidence for Chelsea Football Club. And it has been a huge one for Chelsea, and it has been a huge one for the team, and a huge one for the players. And congratulations to all Chelsea fans, congratulations to Chelsea Football Club, and congratulations to all the players. And guys, at the beginning I was so angry for Chelsea Football Club signing a lot of young players. Like, most of them don't have that Premier League experience. We know Premier League is the biggest league in the world. It's the top league in the world. Every player, when you come to Premier League, I believe you must ready to be a challenger, and that is what Chelsea are trying to do. And these players, they are young. A lot of them are young. Guys, talking about young player, let me quickly say something. Thiago Silva is the oldest player to score in Premier League. So I will share my big respect to Thiago Silva. What a leader, and what is a leader in the defensive area. It's a leader. It's a player. It's not just a player that play for because I want to play. We know a lot of players like him, of his age, they are like in the Saudi Arabia or in China league, guys. But this man, I can't say this guy because it's a old man. So I can say being a old player in Chelsea with Chelsea jersey, and it still perform 100% like this. I think this is the perfect Chelsea we wants to see. This is the Chelsea Football Club that we all wants to see, and this is the perfect Chelsea team that we all want to see. I believe that our next game against Newcastle, if we play like this, we are going to trash Newcastle. I believe 3-1 or 3-0, because I believe Chelsea is a good team. And seeing these young players fighting for a result, seeing these young players trying to win games, seeing these young players wants to be in the top of the league, seeing these young players trying to make everything possible to be there as one of the best teams in the world, I think this is the Chelsea we want to see. This is the perfect Chelsea Football Club. This is the perfect. Now I understand the IQ of Tomboli. Now I understand him, and I believe Tomboli will be he will be there saying that, yeah, I spend my money very well, and I spend my money signing new players, young players like this, and bringing a good result, a good fight to the team. Guys, this is the Chelsea we all want to see, and this is the perfect Chelsea Football Club. And this one, guys, we are going up. I believe Chelsea will make top 4. If you think like me, you can let me know in the comment section down below. If you think otherwise, you can also let me know in the comment section down below. Free. This is a free channel where you can share your thoughts. The only important thing, you don't have to use abusing word. for the rest, you can share your thought in the comment section down below, because this Chelsea team is the best. Is the best team. Is the best now. Currently now, 2 huge games, 2 beautiful performances, 2 powerful results. I think this, we have 4 points from 2 of the hottest team in this season. Tottenham, before meeting Chelsea, they are one of the best team in this season. Then Chelsea have all 3 points from them. Manchester City, in Premier League football, they only draw 1 match and lose 1. In Champions League, they win all matches without no draw. Guys, but Chelsea, with this Chelsea team, these youngsters, we have a point from Manchester City. I believe that Chelsea, the players now find their confidence. The players, they are now ready to face any other team in the world. I believe so. And congratulations to everyone, and congratulations to Chelsea team, and congratulations to the board. Guys, this is a perfect one for Chelsea Football Club. And I believe Chelsea, if we continue like this, we are going to make top 4 next season. And I hope we make top 4 next season, because I want to see Chelsea playing like this in the Champions League, guys. Because if Chelsea can make top 4 playing like this in the Champions League, I believe that we are going to make record. We are going to make record. Anytime Chelsea play like this, anytime Chelsea are in good form like this, we always have result. There are still FA Cup going on. There are still Carabao Cup going on. And Chelsea, and we are here trying to build our team. Pochettino, I have my doubt at the beginning about Pochettino, because we know Pochettino love to play attacking football. I have my doubt at the beginning. I said, is this the team? Are this player really fit to face this kind of football? They are young. Are they really fit to face this kind of game? Are they really fit to pursue for the Premier League title? I was like little bit afraid of everything. But now, seeing this Chelsea team, day in 2 matches, I believe that if they continue like this, guys, it's not too late to fight for the Premier League. It's not too late to fight for the title. We can still fight for the title now. We can still fight for the title, and we can still fight for top 4, and we can still fight to make everything and to winning games. If we can win this big, huge game that we have, if we can take all 3 points against Newcastle, and we take all 3 points against Brighton, because we play Brighton at home, and we have Manchester United in Old Trafford. Guys, if Chelsea can win this 3 huge match and win against Everton, I believe that Chelsea can be the biggest. We can make the Premier League. We can make the Premier League title. We can join the race for the Premier League title. It's not too late. It's not too late, guys. It's not too late. Then we have to also believe that Chelsea is one of the teams that have that give Manchester City a huge difficult time, because Manchester City, every match that they play, I can say, you remember Chelsea, you remember like when Madrid was in the top, when Zidane win 4 Champions League. Madrid was, when they play anybody, it's like they are in the training pitch. That is how Manchester City has become. But now Chelsea has pulled a huge fight with Manchester City and a huge result from Chelsea Football Club. And I believe that if we continue like this, we are going to make things possible. We are going to win a title, and we are going to fight for the Premier League title. We just need to sign a natural goal scorer, and that is what we need. And Cristiano Cucu is still in injury list. I believe that before we face Newcastle, I believe the player can be back, because it's now a little bit fit. It's now in the training pitch, but it's not in the squad. But guys, I believe Cristiano Cucu can join. He can be 100% fit before that time, and I believe that if he come, guys, Cristiano Cuckoo is a goal machine. So if he join the squad, I believe that we can make it through. We can make it through, guys. We can make it through because we can be one of the top team again. We can be that team again, guys. We know that we always have problem with with that number 9 position, because the only number 9 that has made it so successful in with Chelsea shirt is DJ Drogba, guys. But I believe that Cristiano Cuckoo can be the next DJ Drogba. I believe that he can also be a goal machine. If to my opinion, if Chelsea can also sign Victor Osimhen, the Nigerian international, it will be perfect for Chelsea Football Club, because the game I see today, Chelsea have a good team, but we still need a goal machine. We still need that player that can guarantee us at least 40 goals per season. And guys, I know Kopama is trying to be that man. He's trying to be that man. He's young, and the talent is there. He's trying to fight for. He's trying to prove Guardiola wrong, and what a confidence for him, guys. Let's talk about the penalty. What a confidence! A young player like that, taking the ball in his hand, he said, "Yeah, I want to play the penalty against my former team. 3 months ago, he was a Manchester City player, and now he proved Guardiola wrong, and having what a big game and a big crowd, and with a good confidence from him, guys. If I was there, I don't know if I can have a huge confidence like him, but he make it through. This player have a huge confidence to take the penalty. I know a lot of players will miss such penalty like that because of the pressure from everyone, because of the pressure, the crowd, and playing against your former team. I believe that a lot of players will miss such penalty, but no, guys, this player stand out, 100% confidence on himself. He faced the goalkeeper. He he scored the goal, and guys, former Manchester City player, being a goal scorer of the match, scoring 2 out of 2. Despite Thiago Silva make a huge record for today, being the oldest player scoring in the Premier League history, just like Mohamed Salah have the highest goal in the Premier League with Liverpool shirt, and Thiago Silva made a big record, being the oldest player scoring, playing in the Premier League and scoring a goal for the Premier League in his age. Guys, this is a huge one. So guys, quick one, if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, please kindly smash the subscribe button. I can see we have over 262 people watching this live. If you are not yet subscribed, kindly smash the subscribe button and let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below as we continue to talk about this match, as we continue to analyze the match. Just let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Yeah, thank you, man. Also, me, I love Chelsea, man. This is, thank you, man. Thank you very much for your comment, and thank you for your support, guys. You are free to share your thoughts, and you can also support me by liking the video and subscribe to the channel, please. It's a free. It won't take you anything. Just support a brother, guys. Support a brother. Yeah. Sorry if my English is not that. It's not 100% British, because I'm not a British. I'm from Africa. So guys, I'm still trying to have my self-confidence. So guys, I know I started the channel with a robot voice, but now I'm still trying to be 100% accurate with my English. So guys, I'm so happy. I'm so happy for your support. I'm so happy seeing a lot of Chelsea fans watching this live, joining us, and we are almost 300 people in the live, guys. So I believe you guys can also like the video, guys. Like the video, because If we have 300 like, I think YouTube will recommend this video, this live chat to more Chelsea fans, and it will be huge for me. I will be so grateful to have more Chelsea fans following the channel, where we can share our thoughts, where we can share our opinion, where anyone is free to join and support this Chelsea team and this channel. I'm so happy, guys. I'm so happy to have you guys around, and I'm so happy to see you guys supporting me. So guys, you are free to leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. So quick one, let's take a look at the